Good afternoon and welcome to Joe Ryan Field at Vikings Park, where we will open the 2020 football schedule. We'd like to take a warm welcome to all our fans here today and extend a special welcome to our visitors from St. Peter's. Before we begin, I'd like everybody to stand and to sing the Catholic High School League for the opening prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the boys, the talents that we're about to extend on the field. Thank you for the coaches, their knowledge that they instilled in all of our young men. Thank you for the referees, and most importantly, thank you to all our parents who support our boys every day. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and forever. Good luck, boys. Please remain standing as I read the code of conduct. Spectators are an important part of the game and shall at all times conform to acceptable standards of good sportsmanship and behavior. Spectators shall at all times respect the officials, players, coaches, and extend all courtesies to them. Taunting, foul language, and abusive language, inflammatory remarks, and disrespectful signs are not accepted. Wholesome cheering is encouraged, and we ask that you join us in supporting our game officials in assuring a fair and safe play on the field. Thank you and enjoy the game. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Singing of our national anthem. The anthem will be followed by a flyover of F-16 jets from the 56th Tactical Training Wing at McDonnell Air Force Base, and will be performed by the Florida Orchestra under the direction of Maestro Yahya Maine, and sung by Grammy Award winner Whitney Houston.
Did somebody murder me?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St. Joseph by the Sea High School. We have an absolutely explosive broadcast on tap for you this afternoon between the St. Joseph by the Sea Vikings, who are hosting the visiting St. Peter's Eagles, who come all the way from the North Shore of Staten Island. I'm Danny Chanod. I'll be providing play-by-play this afternoon, and joining me in the booth once again is a color commentator on the rise, Mr. Ray Palma.
Danny, great to be here on the South Shore of Staten Island. As you saw in the pregame, literal fireworks to start off this afternoon. I'm one hot dog deep already, and it is a beautiful, I'm going to call it, making it up, I'm going to call it 83 and sunny here on the South Shore.
Why not? There's absolutely no service in this booth, or else I'd tell you what the temperature was.
We have a rematch from a barn burner we did last year. St. Joseph by the Sea went into St. Peter's and pulled off a big road win, and that is exactly what Coach Martha Cristoforo and the St. Peter's Eagles staff is looking to accomplish today here on the South Shore of Staten Island. For Martha Cristoforo, it's his 10th season overall, his 2.5 since his comeback. Mark did resign and retire for a brief stretch, came back like Brett Favre, and this is now his first full class of students. So all the kids playing for the Eagles tonight are kids under the Martha Cristoforo regime of the second time around. So at quarterback today for the Eagles will be Marco Arruda. He was the starter last season as a sophomore. Very impressive in their 4 preseason scrimmages. So we will see how that goes as far as Arruda, and now a junior, from a sophomore to a junior, and the improvement and all. From an offensive perspective, Arruda has the benefit of an offensive line returning 4 out of 5 starters. That is something in high school football or in any level of football you are going to have production when you get that kind of production up front. Also be on the lookout for Vinny Canateri, backup quarterback, Canzaneri, I should say, excuse me, backup quarterback, big arm. So you look for Arruda with the starting offense, the base offense. He'll look to create plays off the run, design run, things like that, and certainly can throw the football. Peters also has an option of going to a sophomore in Canzaneri and more of a spread, air raid type situation, who can throw the ball downfield and create plays.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of familiar foes out here on the field this afternoon. A lot of these boys played Staten Island boys football. Specifically, I'm talking about a couple of them. You got Tommy DiGregorio on St. Joseph Vikings, and you also got our boy Brody Turnbull. These are childhood friends that went separate ways in high school. They're best buds, and today they're dueling it out on the gridiron Labor Day weekend.
2 dynamic football players. Turnbull had a dominant season last year. Same for the player from C. It's been quite an off season for both teams. Both teams put a lot of preparation into this, and the families couldn't ask for a better kickoff situation, Dan.
Love to see it at St. Peter's. Back to receive to start us off here Labor Day weekend. 2 deep. The Vikings come out on this home field. Their opening kickoff weekend. They are wearing all blue uniforms with white helmets, white trim around the arms, and white numbers. No names for either of these teams, and we're underway. And my man's got an open seam. One man to beat across midfield. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Dragged down inside the 5-yard line.
Jeremiah Williams spent last year at cornerback. This year will be the starting running back. Also the kick returner. Danny busted right up the gut to start the season off for the Eagles.
Bro, my man came out on skates. We talked about an explosive start to this game. Just getting right on top of that rhythm was Jeremiah Williams. First and goal, Eagles to start us off.
Coach Constantino's got to be pumped on that sideline. On special teams, the big emphasis over at St. Peter's. They have the best special team coach in the business in Constantino, and he had his guys ready to go for that opening kickoff. It's going to be 1st and 10, Danny, from the 3.
Looks like we've got Arruda at quarterback for the Eagles. He is going to come out in a shotgun formation. Eagles in a heavy set, bunch left, one running back to the right. It's the give to the back towards the goal line, and he's stopped very close to the goal line. It's going to be 2nd and goal inside the 1.
This is Williams' first start at running back after playing strictly corner last year. His brother, the starting running back last season. That sign's killing me.
We'll do it again. The give is to the back, and Williams scores!
That's Jeremiah Williams on his second carry as a varsity athlete. Second carry of this season, putting it in the end zone. A big, quick start for the Eagles. 6-0 St. Peter's.
We got it.
All right, we're working. We have some of the Sea faithful a little excited, blocking our view a tad, so Danny's doing some crowd control. Got a lot going on here. I've had a glizzy. We've all had glizzies up here. It's been a good start for the Eagles. And are we lining up for the extra point? We are lining up for the extra point here. As again, we're having a little confusion in the booth. Extra point by Vincenzo Coppola is up and is good.
Cash money. 7-0. I didn't even get a chance to tell you that the St. Peter's Eagles are out here wearing gold pants with white tops, blue numbers and blue trim with gold helmets. Not to mention that these boys, North and South, this is an epic Catholic school rivalry that has gotten us off to a hot start, Ray.
16th St. Peter's in the preseason rankings. I believe C was 12. I didn't have a chance to talk to Coach Tressa Baptiste, but I believe I was told C is at 12. This year, the Catholic League and the CHSAA, they're going to let the 15 and 16 team in, so this is likely a AA battle of two teams fighting position in the AA playoffs. And you couldn't ask for a better start from St. Peter's, from their special teams. If you're St. Peter's now, a big kickoff critical, and you want to keep the momentum going in your favor. If you're C, obviously you want to take advantage of this home crowd, which, by the way, Danny has filled out quite nicely here on the South Shore of Staten Island. Danny is hocking away on the phone. He's working the social media. He's running the book. Danny's doing a lot of things.
We're at the county fair this weekend for the next 3 days. We're doing 2 high school games this weekend. And, I mean, shout out to Ray Palma helping me out, man. But nobody cares. Sports is everywhere. Kind of doing 2 things at once. Ray's doing a great job.
Eagles here are going to kick off. It's going to be 14 Coppola on the kickoff again. I am blanking on the numbers there. Looks like number 6 for the C is back.
I've also seen Mario Luca Fabi back there.
Ball pops in the 20. Schmidt's going to pick it up on the sideline right. Still breaking tackles, making
Swarm
moves.
tackle from the Eagles, Ray.
Great special teams again from the Eagles. Great kick. Got to plop down to 20. It looks like Schmidt. That's 6, I believe. Yes, it looks like Jake Schmidt on the turn.
That's right. And the Vikings will have their first possession of the game on their own 19-yard line. Back with more high school football in just a second. Nobody cares.
That's Gregorio up the middle as we are back live here. We got it all situated here in the booth. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 from the 32. I'm getting I didn't have a chance to talk pregame to Coach Baptiste, so I'm learning as I go here as far as positions go. Looks like number 10, Michael Latito in at quarterback for the Vikings. Vikings will break to the line of scrimmage. Eagles for the first time in a 4-3, 4-down lineman defense, a change from last season. Latito coming out and looks like a little power I formation, fullback and running back. Latito at the line of the set, looking at a hard count, drops back to give, play action pass, boots it out left on his own, running up the sideline, lowers his shoulder. We're going to call it about 2 more yards. Should be about 3rd and 6 here for the Vikings. Love to see it, old school running power I type formation. Referees, ball shall be spotted right at about, looks like the 34, I believe. Not sure what they're discussing. Again, the Eagles for the first time last year were a 3-down technique. Now they have 4-down linemen at all times. If you want to use terms, it's basically a 4-2-5, but it's basically 4-down linemen, 2 stud middle linebackers in Joe Japowski and Adam Ledham, 2 really big physical linebackers that can play on the line of scrimmage and in coverage. And then the other players are more hybrids, as football has moved away from traditional positioning. A lot of multi-positional, multi-sport athletes, hybrid corners, safeties, hybrid linebackers, corners, things like that. Not sure what the delay is here, but the Vikings are being pushed back. So the penalty is against St. Joseph by the Sea. No one here seems to know why, and neither do I. The referees have not. Here comes an indicator from the official, I believe. Okay, we have
an illegal block in the back against the Vikings.
So if you heard there, the block in the back that's going to be a 10-yard penalty on the spot of the foul.
Second and 14 for the Vikings.
We're looking at 2nd and 14 here for St. Joseph by the Sea. Again, Latito will be staying in the power I. On the snap, looking to pass. He's looking right. Got a receiver there. Picked. Ooh. Hit back up in the air, and a good double hit there by the St. Peter's secondary. Right on top of things.
Third down.
Coach, I'm just going to jump back in with you. You know, we were talking before this broadcast today genuinely and candidly about who we liked, and we never really do that, right? Because we don't know much in this town, but we have been around high school sports a lot lately, and we feel like we got a pretty good feel for these two ball clubs. We know it's a tight matchup, but how do you see this game playing out?
Well, the Eagles went from 9 seniors last year to 23. It's a big jump, whereas the Vikings got a little younger overall. So I have no idea how the game's going to play out, but I do think the Eagles' senior leadership could play a big part in things. Now he's into his shotgun with the tailback behind him, offset left. I believe. I'm kind of blind out here. Hard to see. Very clear.
That's totally fine.
Into the flat here, caught by the receiver up the sideline. Gang tackle by the Eagles. So again, this 4-down line technique for the Eagles wants to create pressure in the backfield or create sacks without blitzing. And so far, no sacks, but not a lot of time for the Sea offense to function.
More importantly, Ray, it brings up a 4th down, and the Vikings are going to be forced to punt on the opening drive of their game. Now they're trailing 7-0 here to a very familiar opponent in the St. Peter's Eagles, traveling south here from New Brighton on the North Shore. And they have rolled deep here on Labor Day weekend. I mean, you talk about a capacity crowd. I'm not sure you could see the stands on local live on the near sideline. You see St. Peter's on the opposite sideline. Almost a near block there. Williams returns it in the center of the field, and there's a sniper. He just got tripped up by the 35. Flag on the play.
So we'll see on the return there. I don't think it was against C, so if anything, there might be some kind of a hold or a push on the Eagles. These referees got to hustle a lot more than I realized. That was a good 40-yard dash to inform the head official there what the call was. I would not be able to do that.
No way.
So regardless of the penalty, it'll be Eagles' second offensive possession. The first one only had to go 3 yards, and it's going to move the Eagles back. Yeah, so some form of a block or a clip of some form there. But this will be the first drive for the Eagles, Danny. First one, he handed the ball in the 3, a little different. This will be the first chance for the Eagles offense to make its debut.
Got to give your boy Jeremiah Williams just a little bit more credit than that. I wouldn't say it was handed to him. My man earned all those yards downfield.
Well, it was handed to the offense, not to Jeremiah himself.
Right. Special teams got it going early on. So we'll see now what their offense can truly do with a full field to play with. Was it just a lucky start for the Eagles, or are they for real? Aruda comes out in shotgun formation. Williams offset to his right. 2 men go in motion. They bunch left heavy. Off a hard count, here's the snap. Williams takes it, running left side. Picks up a gain of about 6 on the play, and a manageable 2nd and 4 coming up for this white and gold team.
Martha Cristoforo is furious at the official for something on the sideline. I have no idea what it might be. Williams did a great job getting his pads down and low and getting upfield, Danny.
Love to see it. Running truly hard. Not the biggest kid on the field, but believe me, one of the toughest. Here's a reverse to Williams, running right side. A good open field tackle to prevent that play from going for a home run. Made by number 4 out of the Vikings. That's Anthony Lavazzoli.
Some changes on the Eagles staff. First-year offensive coordinator John Velasquez, also the quarterback coach. So far, so good for the newly designed offense and the coordinator himself.
So it looks like it's going to be a first down for the Eagles. They get it.
So far, just some good old, again, a returning offensive line, returning 4 or 5 starters. You've got a young Williams who's fresh. After last year, strictly playing corner for the most part. So this is his debut as a starting tailback. And the Eagles look for them to be, they go as he go expression. He's going to be the cowbell, the go-to, the guy who gets a bunch of the carries. Lineup is a receiver here, Danny.
That's right. Receiver is right. Quarterback's going to keep it. Aruta's got room on the left side. Nobody in front of him. Now the safety's trying to catch up to him. Quarterback turns on the Jets. Touchdown, Eagles! Holy Hannah, are you kidding me?
You bring Williams in motion, who's been getting the ball all day. It brings the defense to the right. Aruda just tucks it for himself. And then Aruda, arguably the best athlete on the field whenever he steps on a football field, takes it to the house. Beautiful run.
I did not see that one coming whatsoever. I had the chance to talk with Aruda when we were filming Dog Days at Peters High School. And we have a flag on the play here, so it looks like it's coming back. But I'm not sure. Let's see what the call here is. Well, he has deceiving speed, is my point.
Yeah, great athlete. If he wasn't playing quarterback, he would start somewhere else on the field. It's just a matter of, in this case, St. Peter's putting probably their best athlete at quarterback. You see a lot of high school teams tend to do that. Not sure.
Oh, no. That is against the Vikings, Ray. This play will stand.
So maybe a little frustration at the end, maybe a late hit. The flag was thrown around the 30, so not quite sure what the call is going to be. We will find out, but I believe the touchdown is going to be good. Yeah, we're told here a post-possession penalty, so it's going to be something. Now, if it's going to be a penalty, Dan, that'll be half the distance to the goal. Will the Eagles decide to go for 2 with the half the distance penalty, or still kick the extra point? We'll see.
As it stands, it is a touchdown. 13-0 is our score. The Eagles have fired out of a gate. I mean, whew.
And we're going to mention it one last time, but 4 out of 5 offensive line returning. Continuity in the schemes and the play calls and creating space for Aruda and Williams. You got to give a lot of credit to those kids up front.
Just a leader on this team. You can see he's still dogging, trying to get his breath out there.
So unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Sorry, Danny.
So that's what you have here. Well, as you always say, Ray, emotions run high in these games, and Aruda is out there as the placeholder on the extra point. So an integral part of the offense in total. Soft-spoken guy, but a true leader on this Eagles roster.
Absolutely. And again, the experience as a sophomore. The kick is up, extra point. Another one right through the uprights, Danny.
Capola making it look easy.
Yeah, Aruda, a lot of experience last year as a sophomore. We all know he's a great athlete. When it comes down to making the big throw, so that'll be the next step in his transition this year as a junior. We'll see if that's going to happen. But so far, the Eagles haven't needed to throw a football anywhere because they're so dominant up front and in special teams.
Man, I'm telling you, 14-10. 14-0's our score right now. Eagles come down here, and for the first quarter, we have not played a full 4 minutes. The Vikings find themselves in a hole. Now, they definitely have some playmakers, and one of them is the quarterback on this roster. My man absolutely can sling it and get busy.
Latito, so far early on, has had a tough go, but again, that's only in the one possession we've seen him. Certainly versatile in the offense, certainly able to, just like in many ways like Aruda, make things happen on the run and certainly throw the ball downfield. And he has the best quarterbacks coach I've ever met. My man, 1996 Curtis High School alum Randy Luttrell, as his quarterback coaching guru, and they're on the sidelines talking right now. That young man, very blessed to have my guy like Randy Luttrell as his coach, that's for sure.
Well, it's going to be a penalty against the Eagles, it would appear, on their extra point after the play, because this kick has been pushed way back. The Vikings push up, and fielding not too far deep is Schmidt and Fabi.
Yeah, Fabi had the nice pickup on the last one there on the left side. Could have let it go, but instead picked it up, got 5 minutes. Let's see what goes down.
And it will be Fabi who will field it cleanly at the 25 and a full head of steam. He is hit hard at the 45-yard line. He took a licking and kept on ticking, and here is a penalty after the play.
Looks like that was my guy, Nicky Neer. A little unnecessary activity that might have cost the Eagles 15 yards.
I missed it, Coach. So if you saw it, why don't you tell the folks at home what might have happened?
There was some extracurriculars on the side. Number 34, Nicky Neer I didn't get the Vikings player, but it looked like Nicky might have had a little, after the whistle, a little too much, little hands on the face mask, maybe the shoulder pads. One referee looked like, you know what happens right on the sideline too, right in front of the C staff. Referees seem to be more inclined to call penalties. We'll see what the penalty is. They're going to tell us now. Yeah, the face mask, that's going to be on 34. His old man's one of the coaches. I'm sure his old man's right above me going nuts right now. But nonetheless, young sophomore still learning his way onto a field. We're sure he'll see him contribute in other ways. But for right now, not the best debut for my man, Nicky Neer.
No, that's tough sledding, especially when it's, it's opening day, though. And look, when it's opening day and you got to play a rival on opening day, you often look for bulletin board material as a coach, for something to drive your players through the summer to look forward to on the calendar. Opening weekend, you're typically playing an out-of-conference game, and here we have, for all intents and purposes, one of the biggest rivalries on the island. So you might see foolish penalties like that in the opening quarter, and hopefully that kind of goes away as the game goes on.
Little snap handled, gives to the tailback. Good cut up the middle. Nice little run there after the rough snap.
Latino doing a great job bringing the ball back down, handing the ball off cleanly. Manageably, they get 5, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Vikings.
DiGregorio there at tailback, the junior. Nice cut. Way to make something out of nothing there on that play. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 33. Again, Latrell very involved, getting the calls into Latino. Eagles here between the penalty and a few tough runs. I've had a nice possession so far, Dan.
Excellent. And next time we have a break, remind me to talk about our sponsors that allow us to run around here. Because, Ray, I got good news for you. You're getting paid for this weekend, pal.
Woohoo! Rare footage. I like it.
That'll be in the 30 for 30. Latzino out of the gun. A back offset left. The give is to the tailback who runs center.
That's Gregorio again, just putting his shoulder pads down, getting upfield. Nothing too fancy. A little shifty, but nothing fancy. He puts his head down. Beautiful little run. Going to create... I'm not sure what a down distance. Again,
it's 3rd and 3, so a big defensive play coming up here for the Eagles. And it's not just DiGregorio and Turnbull. It's all these boys. They're familiar with each other. They've played in other leagues growing up. So believe me, Ray, this 14-0 deficit right now ain't nothing for the Vikings.
Absolutely not. You talk about the defense for the Eagles as well. Francisco Cali making his debut at nose guard. St. Peter's hasn't had a nose guard in recent years. Massive kid, didn't play a lot last year. Going to look to be like a Donkey Kong Sioux in the middle of their defense.
Here's Latino out of the gun. 3 wide receivers, heavy left, rolling that way. He's got a man downfield open, and he underthrows. Fabi was there, but it just was a little bit miscommunication on the play. To be fair, he just missed him by about 5 yards short.
Great job rolling out. Just tough to make that throw on the run like that. You want to get yourself planted in order to rip it down that, to throw a ball a good 15, 20 yards needed to complete. But a well-designed play by the Vikings. Had a receiver open, something to keep in mind as the game goes on.
And for the receiver, if you're Fabi, you have open space, so come back to that ball as best as you can and help your quarterback in the situation. You see that he's rolling. So first game of the season, again, we're going to see it. But believe me, good football is taking place right here. 4th and 3, Ray. The Vikings are going for it. I formation out of a gun. 2 wide receivers split. The give is to the tailback, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. St. Peter's makes a stand on D.
I believe, Danny, it was 3rd down previously. Maybe you're right. No, you're right. There was a turnover on down. So it's going to bring the offense back on the field for the Eagles, Dan. And if you've heard the Eagles defense, can you ask for a better start than they've had so far?
I mean, I don't think so. And they seem to have some sort of theme. I understand there has to be all these high school kids, there's a theme with every game. They're all wearing Hawaiian shirts here on both sides, like both schools. So
the battle of the Hawaiian shirts deep on the South Shore.
Hard to get a grip. Hard to get a grip.
All right, just back to this Mike Shanahan-style offense here for the Eagles. Again, Williams back in motion.
Aruda out of the shotgun, fires to Williams in motion, makes one man miss on the sidelines, and he's close to the sticks, pushed out of bounds just a couple yards shy of the mark.
What separates the good from the greats is the ability to make guys miss in space. And Williams just in motion, already has his body moving forward. Great pass from Aruda. Again, not asking Aruda to do a lot, just hit the open guy. And so far, Williams seems to be by far the best athlete on this football field.
Well, we're seeing it. And another thing we're seeing is the Eagles' offense is taking it to the outskirts of the field. And that's because this is a very aggressive linebacking core coached by the Luttrell family. Family's North Shore football family, and they are sending them most plays in this game as they come again on the left side, but Williams too quick has the first down and more. So what we're seeing, Ray, is the Eagles are just playing away from the pressure, and most times the Vikings are sending it this game if we pay attention to their linebackers, specifically the outside ones.
That's the outside zone, that Kyle Shanahan. This is the modern offense the Eagles are running, designed to create runs on the edge, runs on the outside, formation designed for perimeter runs. So far, so good for the Eagles offense.
1st and 10 at midfield. Aruda gives to the tailback. Running right side, a full head of steam. He's got about 6 yards. And for these Vikings, seems the one time that they didn't send anybody A-gap, the Eagles were smashing.
That's the first career carry for sophomore Nicky Neer. Had the penalty earlier. Rips off a nice 5-yard run on his first touch. Good to see a start for my guy, Nicky Neer. Nicky Neer will stay in at running back. Aruda in the shotgun, Danny.
2nd and a short 5. Aruda will hand it to Neer again, and he's dragged down in the backfield.
Big stop by the Seagulls defense. Excuse me, I should say the Vikings defense. I was going to say Seed, and I said Vikings, and it came out Seagulls.
It's okay. Neer reminds me of like my JV football running back stats. Like I had 3 yards and then a tackle for loss for 5 yards. I think overall -1 for my career.
Oh, there we go. Williams back in a tailback here. 3rd and 4, Danny on the 47. Little trips bunch formation, right?
Yeah, heavy set. Now they send them in motion to the left. Out of a gun, the give is to Williams. He slips at the 50-yard line. And I'll tell you what, though, my man Dean Kasha was right up in Williams' space. He'll get credit for that tackle for loss. It is a 4th down for the Eagles, and they'll be looking to punt for the first time today.
The Eagles offense, and they got to give a lot of credit to the Vikings defense in this point. Big stop at midfield. The Eagles had everything going for them. Able to get the stop there on 3rd down. Will now get the ball back on offense, Dan. I'm sure Latito's looking at his chops on the sideline, wants to get a chance to get his offense back on the field. Vikings look like number 6 is deep back to receive. Punt is up in the air. Fair catch called for. And muffed! And that's looks like it's going to give the ball right back to the Eagles. It looked like they would have won the full on it there.
We got a scrum for it. Let's see who comes up with it.
Looks like 19 had it. 19
yes,
has
sir.
it.
That's Eagle ball.
Ball recovered by Eddie Rethorn. Biggest play of the season for Eddie for the Eagles special teams thus far. And that will quickly turn momentum right back around to the Eagles' favor and get Aruda and the offense back on the field.
This Vikings home crowd absolutely stunned right now. The Eagles on the precipice of putting more points up. And Ray, more importantly, they do in fact have a very good field goal kicker, so they don't have to go for a touchdown on 4th down. It's a good chance that they get points out of this possession.
Killer B tried to kill me, Danny. Sorry.
You should apologize to the people at home.
Sorry. B tried to kill me. I got very scared. Well, if you're the Eagles now, yes, you're down here below the 30. I'm not sure of the range. We'll assume somewhere it's that 25 to 35-yard field goal range. So anytime you get the ball inside the 20, you're looking at the possibility of 3 as opposed to 7. But I think if you're the Eagles offense right now, your primary focus now is to focus on getting 7 more. Keep the action going. Keep the ball in Williams' hand. Also, haven't heard the name from the big 8'8 Laureano yet. Division I prospect as both a lineman and the tight end. Haven't heard his name called on offense yet. While he's been doing a fantastic job, I'm sure, up front blocking. Wouldn't be surprised, Danny, if they decided to utilize him more here in the quasi-red zone at the 27. Now realizing Danny is running our social media department as well as our posting and advertising.
I'm sorry, man. I'm getting texts from the county fair. They want to know what the rules for bingo are.
Well, that's pretty insane. They can just Google that county fair.
I
Come on, get your life together.
They're literally texting me with
bingo. Come on.
3:23 remaining in the first quarter. They want to know if do they get points for corners?
Well, every bingo game has a format. Every game's different.
Figure it out.
Anyhow, as Danny deals with bingo, Aruda is awaiting the ball to be placed. Williams will be the lone setback. No receivers here. Bunch formation on the right. Laureano on the end of the line left. Keep your eye on him as a possibility of someone slipping out into pass protection. Otherwise, bunch receivers on the right. Aruda drops back. It is looking toward Laureano's way. Laureano wasn't open. Aruda creating space. Stays on his feet. Breaks more tackles. Somehow still on his feet on the sideline. That might have been the greatest run to get back to the line of scrimmage I've seen in a long time. My goodness.
I mean, these Viking boys just buckled up their chin straps, chasing them all over the field, not letting them gain an inch. 2nd and 10.
So you saw Laureano, we called it before snap. Laureano did sneak out into the cover, but give credit to the Viking secondary covering up Laureano, forced Aruda to come back right. And getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage there was kind of a miracle at that point. Aruda will now be in the shotgun, Williams behind.
Give is to Williams. He goes A-gap, and, dude, he just keeps – he falls forward. You know, and that's what you got to do as a running back, right? As soon as you get contact, push forward. Don't fall backwards. Get that extra 3.
It's shoulder pad level. It's the chopping of the feet. You know, this kid is just – showed up and ready to play in his debut as a starting tailback for the Eagles. That's for certain. He'll start out at the wideout position now with Aruda in the shotgun. He's by himself on the left. One receiver right with a little bunch formation. Aruda back to pass. Throws wide open. Someone lost their man in the formation there. Wide open for the Eagles is number 9. That is Liam McBratney. Liam McBratney, a senior, hard worker, voted team captain, one of the true hard-working program-type players for the Eagles. Rewarded with a nice pass from Aruda. Will set up 3rd and 5 from the 22, Danny.
I mean, blown assignment, sure. Good hands by McBratney. You're right, 1st and 10, just inside the 20, so they're officially in the red zone. Not out of a shotgun, that's rare. The give is to Williams, left side. Running hard once again. He gets about 5, maybe 6 on the play. Tell you what, it looks more like 7.
There just seems to be no consistency in the Eagles' offense. If you're to see defense, it's tough to guess where they're going. The formation seems strong right. They run it left. It seems strong left. They run it right. And they've mixed in the pass beautifully.
Give us to Williams again. And a beautiful open field tackle made in the backfield from Kasha. That's the 2nd big play of the game.
Woo! He took a all-out Willie Mays Hayes dive into that backfield and came up with just enough ankle to take him to the ground. My goodness. That was mighty impressive.
Wild laid out. That AstroTurf must be soft because he was Recklin abandoned. Reckless.
Recklin sounds good too, Dan.
Yeah, I can't even. Aruda out of the gun, plenty of time. Now he decides to run with it up the middle. Touchdown, Eagles!
You have guys downfield being covered well. You've got the good job of keeping up with Williams out of the backfield, but what you have to account for is arguably the best athlete in the field is either Williams or Aruda. Aruda took 1 step, 1 cut, gone to pay dirt. Dominant performance in this first quarter for the Eagles offense and in all aspects of the game.
Man, that is some wild stuff by all accounts. The Eagles are doing it on both sides of the ball, Ray, special teams included. And they're 1 extra point away from making it a 3-touchdown game with 38.1 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter.
That looks like it's going to be just short.
Oh, we saw that last night at the Curtis game.
What was the word we used?
I said it was a rainbow lollipop.
Lollipop.
Then the kid came out the next possession and drilled like a 40-yard field goal.
He hit the lunchroom at 100 miles an hour. I think he might have heard you there.
The people from Bothell were like sending text messages like, hey, they're talking about you.
And shout out to the people from Bothell. Came out from Washington last night. Drove all the way down to flew all the way down to Staten Island, New York, came down and played Curtis. Put a whooping on Curtis a little bit. I think it's a great first experience game for Curtis. But shout out to those guys who come out to Staten Island. And shout out to St. Peter's for traveling out to the South Shore today and putting on what has been a dominant first quarter.
It's only
performance.
8.5 miles about on a map geographically, but with the traffic this weekend, I'd say it took them about maybe an hour to get down 8 miles.
My GPS when I left my house said 39 minutes, and I live on Staten Island. So nonetheless, we all made it out here. Beautiful facility. We had literal fireworks in the pregame. First class all the way here at Viking Park, as the scoreboard says, the Joe Ryan Memorial Field. And you couldn't ask for a better day weather-wise, Danny. My goodness.
No, sir. Absolutely could not.
So the Eagles are going to look to kick off here. If you're the Vikings, listen, every small journey begins with a step, or every comeback begins with one small step, and that will be a good kick return here, and then find a way of getting their offense going here at the tail end of the first quarter.
Once again, it's Fabi back deep to receive. He fields it at the 15-yard line, stutter step, and the Eagles are just all over it on special teams today.
Absolutely. Good job by Fabi. That ball kind of died on him, and he went and picked it up nice and quick. Got the ball out past the 25. Can't ask for much better than that field position-wise. So Latito and the offense is going to take the field. They've had a few possessions already. Nothing has gone their way so far. But they've shown some probabilities on the run, just missed on a good rollout in the pass. So there's been some creative things. Are they moving back here? No, the ball's going to be right up outside. Looks like the 28, Danny.
It does look that way. We want to give a shout-out to St. Peter's Boys High School. They're playing out here today, but they're also a proud supporter of Nobody Cares Sports, an official sponsor, if you could believe that, Ray.
Official sponsor. That's a great, beautiful thing. They've been very kind to the Nobody Cares Sports Network over the years. Shout out to my guy, Principal Constantino, and Athletic Director Martha Cristoforo, and all the great people over there at St. Peter's.
Latito now out of the gun. 2 wide receivers left, 1 wide receiver right. Looking to the right, he's got a man. Catch is made by Blockman.
Oh,
It's a gain of about 3 on the play.
It's a nice little design play. If you're the Vikings, you could death by 1,000 cuts works too. You don't need the big play on first down. Clock running here. Debatable whether they're going to get time, have enough time here to get a play up before the end of the first quarter.
Hey, you're right. You could death by 1,000 cuts because all it's going to take is one play, 1 touchdown to reawaken this crowd and get them going in their favor.
Well, Danny, they elected not to get anything here. I was messing with my microphone. I'm holding my microphone WWE interview style as opposed to the stand, and I kind of like it. I'm going to go this way.
Hey, I'll tell you what, at the end of 1 quarter of play, it's St. Peter's 20, and the Vikings from St. Joseph by the Sea, nothing.
Main Street Coffee!
Second quarter when we come back.
Main Street Coffee!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a beautiful day for high school football, but we wouldn't be here without our proud sponsors. Want to give a shout out to our friends Roddy and Dean American Steakhouse. Of course, St. Peter's Boys High School. Our friends Windows We Are in Brooklyn, same location and phone number over 35 years. Big shout out to DPM Contracting. All phases of interior and exterior contracting. Calco Roofing and Gutters, my boy Charlie. Shout out to Cryo Wellness. Shout out to Jimmy Max, Jay's on the Bay Fine Dining, LeBron Team at Real Estate, Solo Fitness and Wellness, Loon Schwan Chinese Restaurant, Nationwide Bus Charter, Qualitech Computers, and the Flagship Brewing Company. I'll tell you, they know that they are supporting the community when they support Nobody Cares.
I wanted to comment on all of those, Dan, but you said so fast. I had something to say about each and every one of those wonderful businesses. The great sponsors bringing you events like Here We Go today. And the tailback up the middle. Nice cut. Woo!
My man.
Still on his feet, Danny.
Still driving. I tell you, he's been doing that footwork in practice, not missing leg day, grinding away to get those yards. He really earned it. It's going to be a manageable 3rd and 5 but really an important one for the Vikings. Their first true tough test here, the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, so you spotted them a quick 20. You're at home. You got the big crowd here. Just wants something to go crazy for. A lot of time, a lot of football here for the Vikings. No rush whatsoever. Danny is hacking away.
I hate it.
We are in the shotgun. It's just so bright in here. It's hard to see. In the shotgun, dropping back, rolling out. Looking downfield, gets his body turned, has no one open, and unfortunately runs out of space here.
Oh, doctor! What a hit from Joe Jakubowskis. One of the more vocal players on this team. His teammates call him Joe Jack. Man laid the wood. 4th down Vikings.
Joe Jack playing linebacker now in that new Eagles 4-2-5-ish, we'll call it front. Can cover a lot of ground for a big guy, and you just see there, when you have big physical linebackers, and there's a quarterback rolling out or running around a little bit too much, bad things can happen for the opposing offense. That's going to force, again, another punt here for the Vikings. Williams will be back deep. Cannot see the punter's number. Is it 17? Can't see the number. It's very
It's
bright.
Wallace. Wallace back deep.
Well,
It's a
Rasheed
punt.
Wallace. Okay.
And Williams will not fair catch it. He runs into his own man, breaks a tackle, gets across the 45. It could be a face mask against the Vikings. We'll hold on for the call.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, Williams is readjusting his face mask now. I think the Vikings were surprised he even fielded the ball. It was kind of dangerous in that situation. May look like a good call, and now because he decided to pick it up with the penalty, that'll net about 20 more yards. We assume anyway on the penalty. You can never assume anything here.
It's a very high risk, high reward situation for Williams and the Eagles on that play. Any other coach on earth would be screaming the word poison, get away. Instead, Williams picked it up within an inch of his own man, ran into his tailbone, and then ran into another Viking, got a face mask, and if it wasn't for that, I bet you he's still getting chewed out by head coach DeCristoforo.
In all facets of the game, and especially coach Constantino, I can tell you now, I'm spending a little bit of time this week with the Eagles. They work really hard on their special teams and dedicate more times than most schools. And the Constantino is dialed in and locked in. And it shows today, both in the kick return game, the kicking game, the extra points, and so forth. Special teams so far for the Eagles has been magnificent.
Ray, I'm sweating like I'm in an interrogation room in Mexico.
Yes, I'm feeling like Patrick Ewing in the third quarter. Not fourth yet, but it's getting there, Dan.
I mean, people are looking in the booth, and it's almost a hostage situation. Out of the gun, Aruda keeps it himself, and he has been quite dangerous on his feet, choosing to keep it. I mean, who can you put to spy on him at linebacker, and is that what you have to do? Just sit, keep your middle linebacker, just say, hey, you're on quarterback?
It's a great idea conceptually, but you start using spies that are dedicated to one person. Before you know it, Williams is in the end zone, or Laureano's in the end zone. So a little easier said than done. But yes, Danny, they got to pay more attention to Aruda on the run.
Now the give is to Williams in open space, and he makes one man miss, but it is Jeremy Muccio who comes up with the tackle. Be a first down for the Eagles, it seems, and they'll be moving those chains back into the Vikings territory.
Muccio. I like that name. It's a good name.
Now, it could be Muccio.
Either way.
How do you pronounce it? Muccio.
Muccio.
I got it right
We
the
had
first
it right.
time. Shout out to Muccio. I appreciate
Muccio.
you.
Shout out to the Muccio family. Great name. I like that one.
It's actually a solid name. We get so many good names on these sheets, man. We got to do what nobody cares, top 25 names of the year.
Stay tuned, folks.
Project's never coming out. Aruda under center. Gives it to Williams out of the backfield. Running hard. He's got 6 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd and 4 on the Vikings' 29-yard line.
From the line of scrimmage, both Williams and Aruda got to be averaging about 7 yards a carry at this point. Complete dominance up front and great running from either Aruda or Williams in the running game. This has been a dominant performance thus far. And the debut for this new Eagle offense has been beyond standard so far.
It's unbelievable. Williams with it again. He's got to have like 20 carries already, and there's 8:30 to go in the second quarter.
It seems that way.
I'm
certainly.
not. I mean, at least 11 carries.
Well, when you mix in that and you mix in his returns, the kick returns and the punt returns, yeah, he's certainly carried the ball probably a good 15 to 20 times by now. And why wouldn't you if you're the Eagles?
And look at him. My man's getting a break, and I don't blame him.
On cue, right?
Going to have Matt Sweeney check into the game now at tailback, as well as Nero. Well, now Sweeney goes over left side, is running tight end alongside McBratney. Looking, he's got a man close to the sticks. That's caught by Eddie Rethorn.
Again, beautifully designed. They used Near to put Near into the flat. They looked left and right and had Rethorn wide open. So Aruda, that might be his first pass that traveled more than 5 yards in the air, and he put that right where it needed to be. Nice executed play for the Eagles. Whoa. Is there a motorcycle somewhere?
I don't know what's happening.
That was really cool. It's going to be 1st and 10, so that play was good enough for a first down, Dan. Nia's going to stay to his left, Aruda in the shotgun. Oh, hard count. Looks like they may have drawn, false start on the Eagles offense, so the hard count going to self-inflicted wound there on the hard count will result in a first and back him up 5 yards, 1st and 15 for the Eagles. Near stays in a tailback. Aruda at quarterback, awaiting the call. Again, the Eagles offense, the offensive line, a lot of continuity, and it shows here so far. Play call in, bunch formation right, Near flat left, Aruda in the shotgun, Laureano at tight end. Aruda back to pass, rolling out right, has a lot of room right, elects to let it go, wide open in the end zone. Beautiful throw to Sweeney. Matthew Sweeney back in the end zone, touchdown Eagles.
My God.
So Aruda, the one question you had based off last season is can he throw the ball as well as he runs it? So far today, his completion percentage is 100 in my book so far, and just found a beautiful job of finding a streaking Sweeney in the back of the end zone, Danny. My goodness, was that gorgeous. 26-0 St. Peter's.
Trying to pour it on early, and what adjustments can the Vikings possibly make at this point? I'm just not sure as they come on for the extra point attempt.
Well, you want to find positives, and right now there aren't many. Extra point is up and nearly blocked, but good.
Nearly blocked, but good is right.
And that will bring it to 27-0 in what has been, in the eyes of many, I mean, I asked a lot of people, from the consensus, I'd say the Vikings were a favorite. How many point favorite you wouldn't know, but either way, this is a dominant, impressive, well-organized, extremely well-coached, and the athletes performing performance for the St. Peter's Eagles.
Well, right now what we're seeing on the sidelines, Coach, we're seeing Coach Craig Luttrell. He's there talking with his assistants, and they're talking defensively on that side of the ball. There's really one question on the Vikings coaches' minds, and that's how do we stop number 6? It has been all Jeremiah Williams today. And there's still 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And what I mean by that is he has 2 touchdowns. The other touchdown coming now off the hands of Matt Sweeney making a catch. Aruda has a touchdown.
Aruda has a running touchdown and a passing touchdown.
Sweeney has a touchdown, and Williams has a touchdown. So you have 3 different Eagles who have found pay dirt this afternoon. But it's that number 6 has really been public enemy number 1 here in Huguenot this afternoon.
Well, a dominant performance from running backs makes quarterbacks' lives easier. So the performance from Williams make Aruda's life easier, and great things happening there.
Well, this is Robert Stefanelli fielding it, getting across the 25, now 30, still on his feet. The ball comes out, and the ref is going to say he was down. By the grace of Mary, it'll stay Vikings ball.
I think that was the right call for the blind eye out here, 70, 100 yards away.
No doubt.
Looked like he was down by contact. Good call by the officials. We'll give the Vikings offense a shot here.
I agree with you, Ray. And another thing is it's a little loud, so it's hard to hear an official's whistle on plays. So it's tough to know when the ball's been blown dead and things of that nature. So nevertheless, it is 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Good field position here for them on their own 36-yard line.
Good field position. Haven't produced much offensively. Going to have to look to find a scenario where they can move the ball downfield, whether that be from the run or perhaps looking, into their bag of tricks. Danny, dig a little bit deeper. You want to find something to get you going, get the positive momentum flowing, and cut this thing down to a 20-point deficit.
I'm here.
I didn't know if you were or not. Again, it's very sunny out here.
What?
He is in the shotgun.
What team was Muccio on?
He is on the Vikings.
He's on the Vikings.
He busted up the middle. Nice, tough run there on first down. So the Vikings doing a really good job on first down and in general, getting these 3 and 4 and 5 yard carries. Had a hard time producing on third down and moving the chains enough so far this half.
Well, I was just saying that, rightfully so. What do you think Muccio's nickname is?
Money Mooch.
It is Mooch. Money Mooch, I guess.
Money Mooch. Mooch money. Put that,
Yeah, all right.
add to the arsenal. I think Danny's a little delusional. That carnival's messing with his head a little bit.
I am having an out-of-body experience. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings. Latito gives it to the tailback. That's Maniscalco.
DiGregorio, I think it's DiGregorio, Danny.
Oh, is it?
Maniscalco's 34, that's 33. It's close. Again, we did our best to see how a busy week, so it was hard to get in touch with them. We did get a roster, but the print is so teeny, it's hard to see. But we're doing our best out here.
Yeah.
That's DiGregorio on the carry. He's been impressive so far. But again, the Vikings find themselves in that 3rd and 5 situation where you got to get those chains moved. They're going to spread them out a little bit more here. Danny Gregorio's going to be in the shotgun.
I like what I see here. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 1 right. 1 running back in the backfield. All day to throw here. Latito moving left side, looking downfield, is going to be thrown hard out of bounds. A hard tackle made by Joe Jakubauskas.
And that's going to result in another tough decision. I don't think there is a decision. You got to punt the ball. I don't think you can start going for it in your own territory.
I think you got to go for it in your own territory. You're down 27-0. You're talking about how this game could be out of reach. Let's go out there and get it. It's opening weekend. I know it's early, but all I'm looking for is 3.5 yards.
All right. I like the aggressiveness.
It's a gutsy play, Ray.
Yeah.
Gutsy call.
I guess I'm a little more conservative with how many heights? 15 minutes long? So we got 30.
I mean, if we were playing Madden,
35 minutes,
I would
55
probably
seconds
punt.
left. But nonetheless, the aggressive call here by Coach Baptiste and the St. Joe by the Sea offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. DiGregorio in the backfield. 1 wide receiver right, 2 wide receivers left. Latino out of a shotgun. A huge 4th down, and you could hear a pin drop in here, and we've got movement in the trenches. Let's see who it's on.
The Eagles definitely crossed. Were they induced? We shall see.
This is either going to be a 1st down or back up 5.
If that is on the Eagles.
Unbelievable. So it's offsides against the Eagles, an automatic 1st down here for the Vikings. But to talk about the atmosphere, Ray, this home crowd got so quiet, and the Eagles still jumped off sides.
Yeah, good job by the home crowd. We're on the seaside here, and they couldn't hear a peep in front of us. I'm sure Coach Dean Mercuris is not quite too happy with his defensive line right now, whoever just jumped. Nonetheless, that could be the break the Vikings needed, Danny. They needed something now. Listen, whether you get it from a penalty or from a play, it doesn't matter. You got the 1st down, go from here, build some positive momentum.
Latino now, same formation. 2 wide receivers right, 2 left. The throw is right side. Demonte with it. He's tackled by a gang of Eagles, and a late hit, and flag comes in. We'll see who it's on.
Well, you said late hit. That would indicate, maybe you might have premeditated and called it for the ref.
I believe this is a late hit against the Eagles.
Now, if you're the St. Peter's, the one thing you don't want to do is start racking up unnecessary penalties. You got an offsides for 5 yards. Unnecessary route. This is going to give the St. Joseph by the Sea Vikings, if in fact that's what it is, a total of 20 yards on this drive and penalties alone.
There might be 2,000 people at this game.
It looks as if they're talking to Coach Baptiste, so maybe I don't know if they want to decline it or take it. But if they're talking to him, the penalty. Oh, the block in the back was against the Vikings, Danny, the other way around.
It's tough to see, right? So you have a late hit. It could go either way.
Oh, goodness gracious. The last thing the Vikings needed was something like that after the penalty on the Eagles to get the first down, to go backwards on your own. So it'll be first and 15 from about the 40, 41.
15 from their own 41-yard line.
Well, it's first and a country mile for the Vikings. They give this to Gregorio, and he is going to make a beautiful spin move to dodge a tackle. Almost a tackle for loss. Instead, he picks up 5 on the play.
Well, he came to play today, breaking tackles, discarding Eagles defenders. Second, again, though, when you're running the ball on first and 15, you get a solid 4. Second and 11 is not ideal, but manageable. More manageable than first and 15, that's for sure. Vikings are going to break the huddle. In no rush, a lot of time left in this high school football game. Latito in the shotgun, Gregorio flank behind him. Ball is snapped. Gregorio going to take it up the middle, lowers his shoulders, fighting upfield, creates some more space, gets the ball to about, looks like the original line of scrimmage, setting up what should be about a 3rd and 10, Danny.
I like the play call, though. They're sticking to the run, sticking to their guns, as I say. The ground and pound mentality doesn't always pay off in the first half, but in the second half, it definitely does. And Tresser is basically saying, look, I know I'm down by a lot, but I condition my players, and I condition them for this. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we're going to stick to our game plan. Maybe that run softens them up for a play action over the top. We'll see what happens here with a 3rd and 10 for the Vikings. 4 wide receivers, 2 split left, 2 split right. Gregorio in the backfield. Latino out of the gun. Under pressure, he's got to get out of the pocket, rolling right. He chooses to keep it, and a great open field tackle made by Nicholas Scalaro from the Eagles brings up a 4th down.
There's nowhere for Latino to throw that football. The Eagles secondary covering downfield wonderfully, stride for stride with every possible Viking receiver. There's nothing else you could ask, and this timeout's going to go by St. Peter's here to maximize the most time they could have for their own offensive possession, Danny. But again, the Vikings offense unable to come up with much against a vastly improved St. Peter's defense.
So Ray, I know you like to talk about sponsors, right? So I'm going to give you an opportunity too. So let's start out right now. We talked about Peters before. Talk to me about Windows We Are.
Windows We Are. How many businesses do you know will pay your toll? Well, if you go to Windows, I don't know, because they're in Brooklyn. They're not a Staten Island
Bay Ridge, business. Right?
Bay Ridge, which is barely Brooklyn. It's closer to my house than St. Joseph by the Sea is, that's for sure. Cross the bridge, you go over there, you buy some windows. They pay your toll.
Unbelievable.
And they have a parking lot. They say pay park. I'm going to say pay toll. They pay your toll. They have a parking lot.
I'm sorry.
First-class service.
You don't normally hear the words parking and Brooklyn in the same sentence, so I just want to make sure that's a real thing.
Yes, I was saying to myself, parking lot Brooklyn. No, you don't have those things. So Windows We Are, big supporter of the Nobody Cares sports broadcast.
And more than that, Ray, they're so reliable. They not only do window installations, they do window designs. They'll even fix your screens for you, man. I mean, they're just a family-owned, operated business supporting local sports here in the community by being a proud supporter of Nobody Cares Sports Network. We appreciate them. Make sure you support them.
Good friend of mine had some windows that were a pain in the butt. The way they were cut, it was an old style. A few other companies tried and failed. He went to Windows We Are. Now a good friend of mine has some brand new, beautifully shaded windows in his home, and all thanks to the great people over there at Windows We Are.
Wait till we get into Charlie Calco and his roofing and gutter company.
Woo-hoo.
God did my gutters. I got a story for you. Well, here we are. We got a 4th down, ladies and gentlemen. Latino out of a gun. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Throws over the middle, it's complete! First down, Vikings! They need it in the worst way. Bobby went up and caught that one, brought it down to earth. Let's go, baby!
I was going to say the same exact things, man. They needed that. Latito needed to see the pass protection. He needed to see someone open downfield. Great job by Latito. The Vikings offense really needed that one, as you said, Danny. 1st and 10 from the 22. Latito's going to be in the shotgun. Music is pumping, and the atmosphere here at Viking Land is certainly turned up. He's rolling back. He has some time in the pocket. He's going to roll out right. He's looking downfield. Everyone seems to be covered. Throws it into tough trouble. Triple coverage. It was picked off. Was he in bounds? No call from the official yet.
Flag on the play.
Looks like it's out of bounds, so no catch on the interception. And I'm told.
No catch on the interception.
So it looks like there was a flag on the play. Not sure what that one's for. So no interception.
We have another flag coming in now on the St. Peter's sidelines, Ray. That could be against the Eagles coaching staff.
Coach Cristoforo does not look very happy over there. Unhappy with something that occurred. Might have been on the interception itself, ruling him out of bounds. Not sure, though, I'm probably 200 yards away. It didn't look good from here, but it looked close. Let's balance out the penalties here. And either way, 2:49 when the ball is put back in play. The Vikings will have 2:49 left and a lot of time.
I have no idea why D. Cristoforo is upset. He's up 27-0. Go get an ice-cold Gatorade. Save yourself a 15-yard penalty. What are you doing? But
all breaks,
I'm also
no gas.
not a hostage on the sidelines. It's 30 degrees hotter out there than it is in this booth. If we're upset, anything could make that man upset. So I don't really blame him totally, but that's just my 2 cents. Nobody cares, right?
You can't coast to the scoreboard either. This is high school football. Anybody can come back at any time. You got to. And officials can't officiate to the scoreboard either. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. So from a coaching and officiating perspective,
The
second penalty was a hold.
Against the defense.
Okay. So the second penalty, Danny, was a holding against the defense. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, I believe, in high school football.
Dead ball foul.
And there's another one. There's penalties everywhere.
Third dead ball foul. They're all against the Eagles.
So the dead ball foul will be 15 yards.
Vikings will get
The holding, the defensive hold will be 5.
15 more for the
Total of 20. One of them might be half the distance. My guess, Danny, is the ball will be at the 11, but I can't do math, so we'll see wherever they decide to put it.
Man, John Boyle says Ray Palm is absolutely killing it today with the color commentary. Man's a natural.
Thanks, Mr. Principal Boyle. Good luck on another school year at IS 34. Good to hear positive things. It's not so easy all the time, but it's just so much fun to just see a sport and talk about it like you do in a local bar, you do at a barber shop, or anywhere else. There's not much difference except I'm just having a running conversation with Danny.
To be fair, that's how we do it at Nobody Cares, though, right? We want it to be a loose and fun broadcast. We want anybody to tune in and watch that's not invested whatsoever. And Bob, the clock ref, hasn't quit on us yet. He's still putting up with us after a couple of years.
My good friend Robert Patterson, owner of our bar, told me yesterday he watches all of our stuff, Danny. Snug Hall. If we're doing it, he watches it. He just enjoys listening to us. So obviously, we're doing something right in this community as the referees sort out the dozens of flags that have been thrown in the last few minutes here.
So after all penalties are said and done against the gold and white, I'm talking about STP, they put themselves in some trouble here. The ball is going to be placed on just outside the 5-yard line. So Bob, the clock ref here, was correct. He said that ball's going to be at about the 6-yard line. It's at the 5. First and goal, Vikings. An opportunity to get on the board, maybe get some positive momentum as they head into the locker room for the second half.
In a stunner, Bob's math was better than mine.
Of course it is.
Curtis High School math wasn't my strength.
No, I know.
Shut up, Miss Schoenfeld.
Well, Latito out of a gun. 3 wide receivers left, 1 right. Latito rolling left, throwing left, and it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings!
If Mr. Momentum is going to change his address, look back on this drive. Eagles defense shot themselves in the foot with some penalties, some special teams mistakes, and now the Vikings got themselves right back into this football game, Danny.
Hold up, don't start the party because Damian Aviles puts the Vikings on the board.
Now, interesting. You're immediately going to line up for the extra point.
And he's firing up this crowd, Brody.
Yeah, we got balloons popping, beach balls. Things turning around really quick. Suddenly, the Viking faithful have a reason to stand on their feet and cheer. Someone got the wrong keys. Lots going on here. There's a lot of things going on in this.
A lot happening.
Extra point is good. Cuts
Money.
the deficit to 20. 27-20. As we go to break here. And remember the three most important words. Main Street Coffee!
Welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Chanod from Nobody Cares Sports on the call, doing play-by-play here on locallive.tv. Shout out to our boys in Connecticut, rocking the studio, doing a great job on video. My color commentary man, Ray Palma, rising star in the biz. Ray, just when we thought we were going to have a running clock in the second half, we've got ourselves a ball game.
Danny didn't turn my mic on. Now it's on. Although I'm learning, I got to push the little button thingy to the middle. I'm getting better at the technology spot on this Dr. Dre Beats thing Danny uses to bring you this wonderful broadcast. And yes, so Danny, at 2:41 here. If you're St. Peter's, you want to end the half with possession. You don't want the ball to go back to the Vikings under any circumstances. Even if you don't put a points on the board yourself, you want to go in this halftime at worst 27-7 if you're the Eagles offense, which has been nothing but dominant all afternoon long.
Well, this crowd is fired up now. And, I mean, there are people around the track.
There's
so many people here, I'm telling you.
you.
You look to your right by the snack stand, I think there's more people at the snack stand than watching the game. A little bit of a squib kick here. It's going to be fielded inside the 10-yard line by Reethorn. And great special teams tackling by the Vikings gets the job done.
Robert DiLorenzo, like a bat out of... Oh, don't want to use that word in a Catholic broadcast. Like a bat and a big-time rush getting to the backfield and the backfield, hitting the returner there. Beautiful tackle on his own.
Ray, you have come so long, my friends.
I was reprimanded once. It will not happen again.
We beat
Although
our
I was
employees.
reprimanded for something ridiculous, but we won't get into that. Okay, here we go.
I agree. But you can drop a cloth on the floor one day, and once you get beat, you'll never do anything again.
Vikings offense 235. Again, they've been dominant all day. It hasn't been a very complicated procedure. Offensive line dominating the point at the line of scrimmage. Williams and Aruda having a way with them, whether it be through the run or the pass.
Well, and it was all Vikings who capitalized last drive simply because the Eagles didn't really help themselves. They had an unsportsmanlike penalty against the sidelines and the coaching staff, coupled with two back-to-back holding calls on one play. The Vikings just did the right thing and punched the ball in the end zone. Now we'll see what they can do on defense. I would consider it almost a win if they can keep the score at this and take that momentum into the locker room.
Yeah.
Now you can play it right and maybe get a field goal out of it.
Looks like the Eagles aren't going to be looking to kill any clock here. Back up on the ball. Second and about 8.
Oh, we've got a reverse out of the backfield, running left side. Aruda throwing blocks like Tom Brady. Get out of there, son. The Vikings sniff it out. Looks like a gain of just 1 on the play after all that trickery. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you think maybe they just want to get to the half. Instead, the reverse to Sweeney. Wasn't able to quite turn it upfield. And now if you're the Vikings, you get a stop here, you call timeout. You might be getting this football back.
In a wild series of events, this is a huge 3rd and 5 for the Vikings D. Out of a gun, Aruda has it under pressure. Rolling left, throwing middle of the field. Tipped, incomplete. 4th down coming up.
So momentum changing very quickly here for the Vikings. Nice play in the secondary. Defense keeping Aruda in the pocket, taking away his running lanes. forced him to throw the ball in the triple coverage. That could have been even worse, Danny.
It was a great defensive play from Luigi Biondolillo, and I'll tell you why.
Name of the day. Say that one again, son.
I'll tell you, Luigi Biondolillo.
Oh,
right?
Luigi Biondolillo.
And that's number 1 on the Vikings defense, and I'm going to tell you why. Aruta's very lucky. Anytime you throw the ball on the run towards the middle of the field in double coverage, that's an interception. So a great play from Biondolillo, but I will tell you this, he could have come up with it. Nevertheless, we've got a 4th down. The Eagles are punting, a big swing in momentum here.
Just get away from that thing. You don't want to touch that if you're a Viking.
That's right, that's poison. Extracurricular activity away from the ball at the 50-yard line.
Again, number 1, Sweeney, his helmet ends up coming off. Not sure how or why. Referee Haley has the penalty. Not sure he's going to call it on, but a big penalty either way. Huge call here for the official. 15 yards gets the ball to midfield for the Vikings.
Well, look.
Or backs them up. Penalty's going to be on the Vikings. Oh, that's not a good. Similar to the Eagles penalty earlier, that one's just not one you need if you are the Vikings offense.
No, and it's one that had to be called, and I'll tell you why, Ray. The referee made a good decision. When guys get scrappy near the ball and somebody's going to make a tackle, all right, you know what? It's a rivalry game. I'll keep my flag in my pocket. 10, 15 yards away from a ball on a punt where nobody's going to touch it, you guys are doing too much.
Yeah, they're lining up like they're going to go here from the 34, but that's not going to happen according to the penalty. You know, they're going to back them up. I'm massively confused. They called a block in the back. At least they're going to back them up 10 yards, no?
There it is.
Oh, I wasn't wrong. Thank goodness. I've been whiffing today all day today.
Yeah.
While we're here, shout out to my guy, Jeff Ahern, home watching with my nephew, Jeff Jr., and my good friend, Marlo. Congratulations on the baby. I know you guys are watching today, and you're watching your alumni here, the St. Peter's Eagles, just dominate this football game.
Speaking of alumni at a STP, I know we've also got Cheese family at a Loon Schwan, arguably the best Chinese food in Staten Island, located right here near Tottenville on Page Avenue in the South Shore of Staten Island.
At some point, you're going to stop saying arguably because it infuriates me every time. It is the best Chinese food on God's green earth, much less Staten Island. Go check them out, 967-9819. My guy, Rob Chi. Get yourself some General Chow.
All right, man. Best Chinese food. I'm about it. It's a beautiful pass left side, looking for some quick money, and they find a little bit of change.
DeMonte, tough run there for the Vikings on the catch.
Well, he got 7 yards on it. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Shout out to my guy, Sly Willis, walking in front of me. One of the best people on Staten Island, runs a Sly 3-on-3 tournament for basketball. Just one of the good guys in the industry. Big supporter of St. Joe's by the Sea.
Under a minute to go here in the first half. Latino out of the gun, throwing right. That ball's almost picked off and then almost caught. Wow, what a scenario of events.
Looked like 13 on the Vikings. I believe Nicholas Scolaro. It's hard to see from this distance. I think it was 13 Scolaro, and that's the Vikings just dodged a bullet, Danny. You give a pick 6 there tonight, it's good night, So if you're the Vikings here, as much as you want to create some offense, you also just want to get into this half with, at worst, a 20-point deficit.
I know, like I said, if you can keep the score like this and take the momentum with you into the half, you've got something to work with.
I believe the Eagles received, so the Vikings should get the ball to start the second half as well. Although I'm kind of making that up. I don't really remember what happened.
I don't think I have any more money on me.
I have money, Danny. What are we buying?
We got to get water, yo. I am sweating like Deuce Staley.
Don't worry, Danny. I have a bag here.
Oh, you got water?
I have stuff, Danny. I come ready.
Yeah. Ray got a water. No, thank you, Ray. You take the call, Ray. I'm going to take a pig bath.
Okay. Here we go. Whistle blows here pre-snap. I'm going to see what that penalty is all about. Looks like it was a timeout. Timeout for the Eagles. So timeout by the Vikings, excuse me. So St. Joe's by the Sea not liking the way they were aligned. Going to elect to use one here on 3rd and 7. Going to give Danny a chance to bathe in some Poland Spring, which is always good on a Saturday afternoon.
I feel like one of those bears in Maine. Remember those commercials in the 90s for Poland Spring? I thought all, water that wasn't in a pipe came from Maine when I was a kid. Yeah. Now, boy, there's so many bottles of water out there. It's crazy.
Yeah. Water.
Who knew water was such a hot commodity?
Shows our age gap. I was baffled the first time I saw a bottle of water. There was Evian, I believe, and What do you mean they're selling water? Why would anybody want to buy a bottle of water? Water is free. Well, we're talking to had a bottle of water in his bag so that Danny could literally douse himself. He didn't drink it, folks. He just poured it all over himself like the Ultimate Warrior.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't mean to
like
do it.
Triple H on his way down to the cutting the promo, spitting the water out.
It looks crushed like it just
The
shotgunned
bottle
my water.
is crushed as if one of the Munster, what was the big Munster used to crush everything? I can't think of the
There's,
father. Herman, I believe. Lots of references there in the last 30 seconds showing my age.
But, Ray, I think people enjoy the broadcast because you never know what reference you're going to get.
People enjoyed John Candy references last night, so 38.7 seconds to go here. A third and manageable for the Vikings. If they run the ball, Peters might call a timeout and possibly get more points out of this half. See if they can get a first down. Latino out of a gun, under pressure, spins around, fires the ball towards the sidelines.
31 was wide open. Unfortunately, not in the game. That was a great catch, though, by Arthur Trisselli on the sideline. Danny got a kick out of that one. All right, so now if you're the Vikings, you've got to get yourselves, I would imagine this is punt formation. You've got to get this snap, and you've got to get this ball out of here, most importantly.
Well, we have laundry on the field here, Ray.
There's always laundry, lots of laundry. Sunday's laundry day, not Saturday. We're going to say it's illegal
Wow.
forward pass. Referee Bob in the booth giving us the preview.
Bob, what's your last name? I always do this. Kapishkowitz?
It's a ridiculous name.
Said it was Kapiskowitz trying to mess with us. Now it's
I
Molina. We
almost
don't know
had a
what
heart
to do.
attack saying it. Ray, tell my mother I love her.
Bob Kapiskowitz giving us what to do here on the giving us the inside scoop. Kapiskowitz Molina.
It's not his real name.
It's a law firm. He goes with it.
Name.
Bob to my left, by the way, only does the clock at games. Can you imagine being a ref who doesn't have to actually deal with coaches or anybody else?
Unbelievable.
This is great. I got to look into this gig. I don't know where's a clock.
I think he saved a baby in a burning building in his last life to get this job.
It's also a total lie. I have no idea how to work the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a lie. I know that clock. That's the one we used to have at Curtis. Go figure.
That clock company has sold the same clock to every high school on earth.
Yeah, I know how to work that one.
No.
Oh, we're told us to clock it more, so apparently this clock is good stuff here. It's operating Viking Park. Bob doing a great job, doing it beautifully. This booth here is seamless. It's fourth down. I'm very confused as to what's going on. Why are they not lining up the punt? What is happening? Is that the punter back there? Danny's just staring into space.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. They said fourth down. The refs are talking about it.
Turn around. Danny's covered in water, rubbing his chest. I don't know what's going on behind me. All right, here we go. It must not be fourth down if they're going for it. I would have to imagine.
You can listen to me, but don't look at me. Oh, the Eagles jump.
Okay.
That is a tough play for Nicholas Scalaro. Got to play with cotton in the ears, my defensive coach always used to say, cotton in the ears. Don't look. Don't listen. Don't listen. You got to look at that ball. Only move when the ball moves.
I hear Cotton. I think Bateman from Dodgeball, one of the best characters ever. Actually, not Cotton. The play-by-play guy was Cotton. But
Bateman, the beat, Cotton.
But Bateman would turn it back to Cotton. Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if this one pays off.
Pandemonium.
This has been the longest 2 minutes of my life thinking about trying to go get a cheeseburger at halftime.
So many things happening.
Yeah, a lot of penalties. It's been about 4 possessions, a lot of standing around, and no one knows what down it is.
Look, I'm out of cash. They shook me down. If you get a cheeseburger, I'm in on half of it.
I will buy you your own cheeseburger, Danny. I told him I'm getting paid for this performance.
Oh,
so
you're
now
getting paid.
So now I can spend liberally
110%.
at the Viking Snack Shack. Only problem is half the South Shore and the North Shore is going to be there. I have to try and use my Nobody Cares VIP status. All right, what I believe to now be first down, but no one seems to know.
Nobody knows. It's a possible 3rd and 7. Latino out of the gun, fires over the middle. That ball is going to be intercepted.
Okay, if you're... Yes.
Wow, what a play. The Eagles come up with it. Woo!
That was a beautiful... We got to give the kid credit. Is it 13? I think it was Scalaro on the catch. I did not get a good look.
I mean, if it was, he just totally redeemed himself like Dumb and Dumber because he just jumped off sides, and now he comes back with an interception.
Samsonite. I was way off. The ball is going to be at the 35-yard line here for the Eagles. And if you're the Vikings, you just gave the Eagles a golden opportunity to blow this game open. I remember, like you said, Danny,
Swammy.
Swanson, Samson. He says it too. He says the right one, and he goes Samsonite. I was way off. Ball's been to 35, and if the Vikings defense had to pick up their offense here and make up for a terrible mistake offensively, committing a turnover in your own territory.
Well, out of a gun, Aruta's going to throw it. I don't know what's happening. He finds a man open. Big man.
Is it 88? The big man's Laureano.
Yeah, that's Laureano open on the side. Gets himself out of bounds, but the referee is going to say there's a timeout called right now by the Eagles.
So we're going to imagine he didn't get out of bounds, Danny, because no way they'd burn one had he done so.
No, I'm terrible at my job.
Well, you're also trying to see a sideline from 50,000 yards away, and no tough call there.
I wish I had a change of clothes before going to my next job after taking that pig bath.
That's all right. You're just going to sweat it out there anyway in the elements over at the Richmond County Fair. Go check out the fair, everybody.
Great day.
Richmond County Fair, supporter of Staten Island in general, and a big supporter of, what are we? Nobody Cares Sports.
What are we? We are the fastest growing, most fun company in all of this side of the Mississippi. That's what I could tell you.
I like those terms because we are fast growing. We like to bring a light element to things. We don't criticize coaches. We don't criticize players. We do talk about refs sometimes.
Talk about refs all the time.
Well, like we say, they are compensated for their performance, so they're subject to scrutiny. That's fair.
But we give credit
Except
to refs
for
all the
Bob.
time,
You break
too.
Bob's chops, you got a problem with me. That's for sure.
I will absolutely go to war for Bob.
And plus, this guy's
and his
like,
fake last name.
Yeah. Oh, he's Triple H, Danny, so you got to be careful. All right, after all the banter here during the timeout, Eagles are going to come up to the line of scrimmage. Danny might have pulled a hamstring.
I don't know if I have a tick in me.
He's also Tebowing at the moment. We're not sure if this is religious or not, but it's welcome here at a Catholic school. Eagles are going to be in the shotgun with Aruda. Aruda drops back to pass, looking long, has a lot of time. Up the left side, has a man
interception!
Up the sideline, he's got it going 25. He rips it middle, still going down at the 40-yard line. Want to get the right name and number. That's 21 for the Vikings. Number 20 run, Robert Stefanelli. Big play for the Vikings defense. They needed that because had the Eagles gone in, this was lights out. Instead, what I believe has brought the game to a half. Great run.
That's right, baby. Take it to the half, Mr. Momentum. I don't know if he changed his address, but he's definitely thinking about moving. We got ourselves a ball game. The Vikings trail by 20, second half when we come back. Let's go.
Main Street Coffee!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the house. And I believe Coach Tresser Baptiste wanted to take a couple extra minutes to talk it over with his Vikings because time expired and the Vikings were yet to come from their locker room. In fact, they came out late, stretched late, and we officially just went through an NFL halftime schedule.
It happened yesterday at the Curtis game, and I thought, okay, maybe a PSAL thing, maybe because they're playing a team from out of state. But now it's happening in a Catholic game. Apparently in high school football, the halftime clock is just suggested. I mean, in basketball, they put the ball down. If we're supposed to be on defense and we're not out.
You're talking about getting 5 guys on the court. They had to bring out 60 guys.
It's just, I don't know. It seems odd that the clock is just not followed. It's news to me. But nonetheless, we are here. Whatever temperature was at kickoff, it is now about 15 degrees hotter. And Danny Chanod has got a little halftime rest. And he is ready to go.
Yeah, man, I feel good, man. I was in the shade. You know, people are nice to me out here. They say, keep doing what you're doing. It's good stuff, man.
Shout out to my guy, Joe Cali. He's one of the stars of the Sea Lacrosse. I saw him in the crowd earlier. My guy, Joe Cali, one of the stars of the Sea Lacrosse program out here supporting his fellow Vikings here on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon.
Well, it's the Vikings who are set to return deep. 2 men back. It's number 21 for the Vikings. That's Stefanelli back deep, and he will receive. He muffs it off his fingertips. He'll have to field it in the end zone and take it out from 9 yards deep. Trying to make somebody miss, but he can't, and he's dang tackled by everybody nearby in a white jersey. Tackled just outside the end zone. Forward progress will mark him down at the 8-yard line. That's where the Vikings will start.
It went through his hands, so he had to run it out of the end zone. And once he was a good 9 yards deep in that end zone as well. So tough run, did good to get it out of there at the very least.
Still got 20 yards after being 9 yards deep, so.
Not putting the Vikings offense in the best position to start, but nonetheless, it'll be Vikings ball. Can't tell the yard line here. It looks like it's inside
about
the 10.
8-yard line, right?
Good eyeballs there, Danny. I'm going to call it.
It's the one thing I got really going for me. I thank the Lord every day for the vision.
My vision's good. I would shout the doctor. I can't think of his name, but I had LASIK years ago. Smartest move I ever made as an adult. One of the few at the very least. All right, Danny. Well, the Vikings have cut the 27 down to 7. That's going to be 27 down to 20. And have momentum going into the half. Let's see if they can regain it here in the third quarter after a rough kick return there. Danny is now taking it. No? Okay, thank you. We're going to work on our communication. The handoff's going to go up the middle. Nowhere to go. Swallowed up by half the St. Peter's Eagles defensive line and secondary there. No gain. It'll actually a loss of a couple of yards there. Going to be second and about, we'll call it 12 and a half. Vikings pinned deep in their own territory. Of course you want to create some offense, but also you want to play it safe here. You don't need anything from a turnover perspective, because the last thing you want to do is start having points go by the Eagles' defense, as their offense has been dominant all day thus far already. So push very. I got a few Vikings crowd kind of blocking my way here, but we're okay. Push deep. The ball looks to be right around the 5, 5.5, perhaps the 6. It's going to be second, and we're going to call it the full 13. He's going to go under center, I formation. Ball's given to the running back. He's got room on the right side. He's going to break it. Breaks one tackle. Ooh, almost broke another tackle. Could have broke it deep. Great open field play there by the Eagles secondary. Looked like number 27 with a game-changing tackle. 27, that's Brody Turnbull. No surprise there.
Turnbull, obviously a big contributor on this Eagles defense, as we mentioned earlier in the game, right? But I'll tell you, DiGregorio, man, hit that right corner, and we didn't see that same burst of speed from him in the first half.
Well, look, it's like a little more space to run. You know, the first half he spent dodging tackles and things. That gave him a little space, and he showed what he can do. Big play for the Vikings to get a little more space in their own territory.
That's a 1st and 10. They're going to stick with that I formation, 2 wide receivers split left and right. The give is to DiGregorio again. Rolling forward, he gets about 3 on the play.
So Gregorio's shown if you give him space, he can create more of it and certainly hit the hole. The problem is when he's getting touched in the backfield already, it's hard to consistently break tackles so frequently. I formation, giving him a fullback certainly should and hopefully will create lanes for the Vikings offense.
So a bit of a change in formation, and those are adjustments that you like to see from this well-educated coaching staff here at St. Joseph by the Sea. We expected it, and we'll see how it plays out here. More so, it was those penalties that really did a lot of damage for the Vikings in the first half.
I see Coach Baptiste and Coach Randy Luttrell working together on the sidelines. I believe the two of them are running the offensive schemes today.
No, that's Craig.
Is that Craig with the beard?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's Craig
excuse me.
with the beard.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, yes. Now rolling out of the pocket is Latino. He's got a man downfield, and it's
he caught that.
incomplete. Hit the turf just a bit underthrown. Bobby did everything in his power to get there. He came up just a bit short.
Can tell that's something they worked on extensively because that was not he threw the ball where the receiver should be, not where he was. And the receiver did a good job of creating. I thought he had it there myself, but again, I am not an official.
I agree. I mean, no, but it hit the turf 100%. Referee had a better angle on it than us.
Certainly. Officials have done a great job on the call so far today, that's for sure. Unlike yesterday, Danny. Remember those defensive pass interferences?
Bro, there was a blatant pass interference on the first drive of the game last night where I just couldn't fathom. Needless to say, that ref's not a fan of the network.
That's okay. We're not here to make
No.
Any publicity is good publicity. He's talking about how bad we are. Someone's going to want to listen to hear how bad we are. And they'll hear how great you are, Danny.
No, you're it's you.
I'm a role player in the game of life. Just spot up in the corner, ready to knock one down. Danny.
3rd and 7, and a timeout called on the field from the Vikings. You know what that means, Ray.
I think it's time for some sponsors, Danny. I think that's what that means.
You said it, mister. And I'm going to give you some real good ones to talk about. I'm going to talk to you right now about DPM Contracting, all phases of interior and exterior contracting. Our boy Damian McCaig. Give him a call, 347-612-5063. He is an assistant coach up there at Curtis High School and a proud supporter of the Nobody Cares Sports Network. Always good to have a general contractor.
And, you know, like sometimes you don't want to go and hire a certain person for every single job. You want that one-stop shop, and you want that Walmart of home repair. And that's what Damien and his company provide. And anytime a Curtis Warrior has a company, it always comes with that Curtis Warrior guarantee, which I'm completely making up, but we're going to go with it anyway. And nonetheless, all phases, everything you need, one-stop shopping, reach out. Tell them Nobody Cares Sports sent you, Danny.
Oh, I mean, maybe do that or maybe don't. You know, I'm not sure if it gets you a discount or
if it's a referee's house, it might cost you some money. I don't know, but either way, it's fine either way.
No doubt. Well, the Vikings sail back onto the field. You like that?
They're selling back onto the field?
Sail.
Oh, I missed it. Went right over my head, Danny.
Right
It's
there.
hot out here.
Yeah, well,
I had a Diet Coke. It was 114
they've got 3 wide receivers stacked left, 1 wide receiver right. DiGregorio, the single back. Latino under center. The Eagles blitz. The throw is left, and he breaks a tackle in the open field as Biondolillo. That will not be enough to get close to the sticks. In fact, I believe they lose a couple on the play.
Biangolo. Danny, we're getting corrected on our pronunciations. Biangolo.
Dude.
We want to say it with the little fingers together. Biangolo.
Send that family a fruit basket.
They're on the fruit. They're on.
Biondolillo. What?
Hey, we're getting the Scrazia. Hey. All right, so we got 4th and 12, Danny. They're going to punt the football
I
back
got
to
to take
Eagles.
out my Duolingo app and communicate
This
with these
guy
people.
has-
Oh, a high snap goes into the end zone. The punter picks it up and miraculously punts it. It'll be about a 24-yard punt, and they're going to mark it right at the 24-yard line. So a folly by the Vikings cost them dearly.
In the middle of us getting our South Shore Italian lesson, we had a bad snap, and then we had a beautiful job of the punter getting it out of there. Look back. If the Vikings come back and win this game, remember the punter doing a tremendous job creating space and, hey, getting that thing out to the 30-yard line. Very impressive.
Super impressive. Sometimes I forget where I am, Ray, because it's hot, and I move around, and I'll just be like, this isn't my office. And then I remember that's Bob. That's Ray. We're at the football game.
I don't. What's that?
You weren't listening to me.
I wasn't at all. I'm sorry.
Which makes that whole thing even better. Williams gets the carry right side, stays on his feet. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line. First down, Eagles.
I'm going to need the Eagles to run left because I can't see to the right, Danny. I'm cut out over here.
As a matter of fact, Ray, they're inside the 10. I can't see. I'm looking at the far side field referee where he's standing with the sticks. So it looks like the ball's being placed on the 9. First and goal, Eagles. Williams takes the carry, and he's just going to walk it in. Marco Arruda claps it up, and the Eagles celebrate.
The Eagles, we're going to say it again, the Eagles' offensive line combined with Laureano, the tight end. We haven't called Laureano's name as a pass catcher, I believe, yet today, maybe once. But as a blocker on the end of that line, he has been dominating, setting the edge in this new style offense, the outside zone offense, the formations designed for perimeter runs, different motions and formations. It has been quite the debut for this new offense for the Eagles. Great play from Arruda, and Williams has been all world this afternoon.
I mean, you could hear a pin drop in this place.
Yeah, listen, that's momentum. We're on the Viking side, and it's not gone well. The kick is up and good. So, except for the one missed extra point, Eagles' special teams have been splendid. The offense has been dominant, and the defense, for the most part, has held the Vikings in play. Danny, that kid has on like Bret Hart sunglasses. Those are badass.
I love throwback sunglasses.
Yeah, he has like Bret the Hitman Hart joints on. Those are awesome.
A lot of wrestling drops today in this broadcast.
Have I done that? My apologies.
You mentioned the Ultimate Warrior when I pounded the water.
Yeah, that's
smashed it and poured it all over my body in the broadcast booth, which isn't normal behavior for a play-by-play guy.
I would like to, I'm not formally trained, so anything from me I believe is not normal. I'm Jeff Van Gundy watching on TV trained, Dwayne Statz and Phil Rizzuto and all different play-by-play broadcasters I enjoy. Van Gundy, a free agent, by the way. Maybe come down and Nobody Cares, Jeff Van Gundy. We have a spot for you.
Yeah, we could definitely afford it.
You could bring Mark Jackson with you. Hand down, man down.
Well, the crowd seems to have dispersed a little bit, and I don't think they've left, Ray. I think they have seek shade.
Well, they're relocating. Sometimes a seat could be bad luck, superstitious. You want to move and make some things happen.
I agree. I always put on my right sneaker first.
Interesting. Never thought about that.
Always the right shoe first.
Okay.
If it's the left shoe, I think I'm going to get hit by a car or struck by lightning.
I go with whatever shoe I pick up first. I never really thought about right and left.
I got serious head problems. Back to the action on the field.
We're losing viewers as we speak.
Eagles kick it deep. It's fielded by Fabi. Tries to take it up the middle. There's not much of a wedge there. And the Eagles are trying to make it seem like they stripped the ball, but the refs are going to say that ball is dead.
Joe Jack's in the end zone. He wants his 6th, but I don't think they're going to get it, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for him. Fortunately for the Vikings. Now, again, listen.
Now, if you want to get to know these St. Peter's Eagles a little better or these Vikings, we've got a new show out on the YouTube machine called Dog Days, where every Staten Island high school varsity football team gets their own 10-minute mini movie. So far, we've broadcasted 2 schools, Farrell High School and St. Peter's High School. The next school that will come out and debut is Curtis, followed by the Vikings here at C, and then we have, I believe, I'm not even sure, we did Wagner, Moore, so many. Every school's getting it, so make sure you check it out. First of its kind sort of documentary, fake Hard Knocks, Dog Days. Check it out.
Repeat that. It's the first of its kind. Any other is just copying.
Under center is Latito. Drops back, looks to pass. He finds Fabi. That's a first down for the Vikings. He's shoved out of bounds viciously by the cornerback, Vincent D'Amato, making sure his presence is known. No matter what, though, Vikings are moving the chains.
There's a great name, Cosmo D'Amelio on the floor. They're going to get him up, get him to the sideline. Great throw, great execution, and listen, very quietly, Fabi's a player, huh, Danny? This kid can certainly make 100%. Things happen for himself. Everyone's taking a knee, but he's coming off the field.
Saw a guy in the parking lot with a Fabi, T-shirt on, and I wasn't sure, if it was his dad or if he was such a fan favorite around here that, he's got fans.
Well, I lost a few pounds, so I can now buy clothes in regular stores again, which is nice, rather than buy clothes from behemoth.com.
I got sweat in my eyes.
Danny has sweat in his eyes, so he's going to be out for about 4 to 6 snaps. I will take over as he gouges his eyes with bottled Evian back here. Lotito is now screaming in pain. We're going to get medical attention to Danny. Lotito is in the semi-shotgun here. Quick little shotgun. Gregorio in the backfield. Ball at the 46-yard line. Looks left. Ball's caught, but then a quick, huge hit. Want to get the right receiver. That was Sweeney for the Eagles on the quick tackle of number 21. That's Robert Stefanelli on the catch. So really no gain or maybe a loss on that one. Is that a flag on the outside of the field there? It certainly looks like it's yellow and on the field, so it's probably a flag. It's not a flag, I'm being told. I'm told it's a St. Peter's towel. Okay. That should not be allowed. You cannot have the same color towel as flags. We're going to have to try and work that into the CHA rules. All the public school CSSA, no flag, no I'm talking too much. Not used to doing play-by-play, but Danny is dying behind me. It looks like he's back. He's cleared his eyeballs out. And I'll go back to color commentary.
Ray, it's not that I can see. It's just that I put my glasses back on, and I decided to stop screaming and just whimper quietly.
You're a gamer, Dan.
Second and 10. Latino out of a shotgun. Gives it to DiGregorio, who runs into 64, bounces off his back, and keeps moving. Lowers his head, and is out of bounds. First down, Vikings. With 6:30 to go here in the third quarter, game's far from over. It's a distance, but you know the longest journey starts with a single step, Ray.
Perfectly described by you. End of the run there. Instead of running out of bounds, he lowers his head, gets 3 more yards as a byproduct of that. We don't know where momentum is in this game. It seems to be bouncing back and forth, but the Vikings here knocking on the Eagles' door.
Brody Turnbull made the tackle, and he really felt the pain on it, too, because it wasn't an easy tackle.
Actually, I know for a fact Turnbulls don't feel pain, Danny, so he is just fine.
Well, that makes sense, then. Well, back to the action on the gridiron. Latino in shotgun again. 4 wide receivers, 2 split left and right. DiGregorio, the lone back in the field. Off of a hard count, Latino has it. Stepping up in the pocket, juking the lineman. He's to the second level, and my man just come down and laid the wood. Linebacker Aiden Ledlum. Huge hit.
I am not sure if it's brother, but there is a relation. Shout out to his brother, Mike Ledlum, going to play for the Johnnies. He's going to play for St. John's, and what could arguably be the most exciting team in college basketball this upcoming season with the addition of Coach Patino.
I'm a big Johnnies guy.
I am.
I like Duke. I don't know if that's going to make you mad.
Gosh, well, I want to leave right now. Why would you say something like that?
Is Elliot a Duke fan and you're a North Carolina fan?
Elliot is a fool, and so are you, and anyone who works for Duke. Freaking Duke. Oh, it's everything that's wrong in sports. But anyway.
All right, here we go.
Duke.
Back to the action.
God.
I have set a trigger word for Ray.
Yeah, I'm upset now. But here come the Vikings.
More Johnnies than Duke. How's that sound?
Sounds better.
All right. DiGregorio takes it B-gap, and he runs hard. He's got 4 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Manageable 3rd and short.
Vikings have done it their way. They haven't resorted to any crazy tactics. They've been running the same base offense, some I formation, some shotgun. Good mixing it up by the Vikings offensive coaching staff. And that's going to be, can they find a way to hit pay dirt again, cut this thing back down to hopefully 20 with the extra point. And then you're right back in this game, Dan, still with 19 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
3rd and 2 for the Vikings from the St. Peter's 25-yard line. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. The Eagles lead on the road 34-7. Latino with 4 receivers. Throwing right. He's got a man. End zone. Touchdown, Vikings!
Stefanelli again getting behind the Eagles defense. Beautiful step up in the pocket by Latino and put that throw right where it needed to be. And the Vikings have reason to celebrate. Extra point pending to cut this thing down to 20.
It's another player who has totally redeemed himself. Stefanelli was the man who had that muffed kick return that went back of the end zone and had to take it 9 yards out. He just proved that he still has sure hands. You can call him hot hands like Little Giants.
I apologize for not knowing the punter's name top of my head. We'll get it in a second. But MVP of this drive, the punter, getting that ball out of there to begin with.
100%. I mean, they went the length. 34-14 is our score. 4:04 remaining. Back with more high school football in a minute.
Main Street Coffee.
We're back. Ray's here, confirming the staff on the sideline.
I know Randy Luttrell. I was told before that was Craig. I know both Luttrells. Randy's my teammate. Randy and I once did summer school together, 3 classes in a row, art, music, and hygiene. It was quite the summer. We enjoyed ourselves, had a good time.
You failed all of those classes and had to go to summer school?
I'm not going to speculate on who passed or failed what, but you need credits in the school, and I may have been a few short. It was a long time ago. I'm going to call it 1994. Randy, a retired member of the NYPD and an all-around great dude. He's got to be proud of his quarterback right now and his offense after a slow start, turning things around.
Well, now it's a 20-point game. Seems to be a bit more manageable.
Yeah, listen, 3 scores is easier than 4. That's just basic math.
Little squib kick, and that's going to have to be fielded. Turnbull has it. A huge block thrown on the near side, and we've got a penalty that comes in late from the referee, and it's a good chance it was on that hit.
No official stats in front of me, but Turnbull had multiple returns for touchdowns last year. Just because he's not deep for the Eagles this year, that is not the guy you want to kick the ball to. But in that situation, it looks like it's going to come back regardless.
And if this is a penalty on number 7 of the Eagles, it would be against Robert Aiello for an unsportsmanlike conduct on that hit. Now, you can argue that it was clean. You can also argue that it was not clean.
That's called balance, Danny. A little bit of both. You can also argue everything. Everything's subjective, I suppose, right?
You believe I got a degree in communication? I really nailed that sentence.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct, Danny. So you got that one there. 15 yards. Unnecessary. If the Eagles, the one thing they got to clean up the penalties. They've had that's probably their 5th or 6th today, and a few of them were just completely unnecessary. I'm sure the Eagles will work on that and film during the week.
That one was a little bit more on the borderline because again, it was a hard hit, and the referee kept the flag in his pocket until the ball carrier went to the opposite side of the field. So it's like he thought about it and then said, yeah, that's a penalty. So I give the ref credit because he didn't just throw it out right away. So that's the call, an unsportsmanlike conduct. After Brody Turnbull's kick return, we're left with the ball at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. And the Vikings are trying to keep this momentum they've seemingly captured late. They give us to Williams, makes one man miss, gets to the 2nd level.
We've seen inconsistent play from the Eagles' special teams. We've had some penalties, but Aruda and Williams have just been spectacular all day, and particularly on the ground with Williams. The first guy has no shot. As I say that, Aruda fumbles, picks it back up, going to look to create something for himself. He's rolling out. There's going to be a penalty on the play anyway, so that's probably going to be a hold on the Eagles. So no matter what, that looks like it's going to come back. Danny is giving shout-outs on the internet. He's working he's answering people's questions. By the way, going forward, there's a theme, like a Hawaiian shirt theme or something. If the fan bases for schools could let us know, we could show up. We could join in. Right now, Danny's got his, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's got a Ghostbusters shirt on.
Thanks for reminding me. We got to get a selfie.
Yeah, selfie. I got my size large Ralph Lauren polo on today. I decided to wear black because I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I didn't know I was going to be in the dead middle of the sun here on the South Shore. All right, so after the penalty. I got to
give a shout-out to head coach of the Tottenville Pirates, Brian Neville. Is on his way back from Tennessee. Took the Pirates down to Nashville this weekend for a game, and says he's tuning in on his way back home watching this game. So big shout out to you. I hope you make it home safely, pal.
In their own end zone, on the 14-yard line.
Highest praise I could possibly see. Meg Mound, the Cristoforo, just shot me a text saying her and the family are watching and enjoying down the shore in Jersey. Happy to do it, Meg. Love you. I hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to all the Cristoforo kids. Big possession here for the Eagles.
Here's the gift to Williams out of the backfield, and he is hit hard but holds on to the football, which is most important.
Gave his punter some more room there, right? I believe that brings up fourth down, even though I never seen him know what down it is. No, that's going to bring up third down.
You got it.
Or first down. We don't know what down. I don't know what down it is. It's going to be third down. Thank you, Danny.
Ray Finkel's home. I can't wait to meet him.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Einhorn is a man. Aruda gives to Williams, going to the left side, busted one. He's got one man to beat. He is up the right sideline. He's at
Williams!
the 40.
Are you kidding me? This kid?
The only human side he's shown was running out of gas a little bit around the 15. He slowed it down. Danny jumped in for half of the call, jumped back down. He's confusing the daylights out of me. We are not professionals, folks. I am not trained for this.
I was really just like screaming, is that Williams again? Are you kidding me?
I took the call. Danny hopped in halfway. Then he took it back. We passed it off beautifully, but not as beautifully as Williams, who has just been spectacular this morning, afternoon, whatever it is. And that'll put the Eagles inside the 10. Looks like at about the 7. I don't have Williams' stats in front of me because we do not have a stat department, but he's well over 100 yards. Eagles here looking for another opportunity to put another 6 points on the board. Williams with a must-deserved rest. Looks like Neer back in at running back. Yeah, Neer will be in the shotgun with Aruda. Aruda in the shotgun. Neer flack to his left. The give is to Neer. He busts it up the middle. Look at taking tackles with him, dragging a few guys along. That's going to be inside the 5. Tough run by Neer up the middle, setting up second and I'm going to say the ball's at the 4. We're going to call it 4.
Ray, I need you to call the rest of the third quarter.
Danny said I'm calling the rest of the third quarter, so this is going to be me alone. I like it, Vince Scully style. No disrespect to Vince Scully, because Lord knows I am not nowhere near the level of Vince Scully or anyone near that. Danny is actually leaving the booth. I don't know what's happening. It's going to be Aruda under center. Neer as the lone tailback. Running formation, trips bunch on the left. Aruda hands off to Neer, upright, up the middle, touchdown, Nicholas Neer. Nicky Neer in his varsity debut, putting one in the end zone. I happen to know for a fact that young man missed 1 day of camp this year when his grandfather passed away, missed a day of camp, went right back. And I know another fact, Bobby Neer's watching down as his grandson just put one in pay dirt and put the Eagles up 40-14. Great run by Neer, great play design by the Eagles offense. Kind of forgot that Danny wasn't here, but like I said, for the Neer family and for Nicky and for Coach Clubby Neer right above me in the booth. That's a special moment for a special football family. Thanks for looking down on us, Bobo. Your grandkids are all proud. Kick is up and good. Ah, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Great play call by the Eagles offense. Way to move that ball down the field. And if you're the Vikings now, the scores have kind of been inverted. 41-14 after another impressive drive by the Eagles offense. Clubby Jr. finding pay dirt. So if you're the Vikings now, you want to just get that offense back on the field. You want to find something where you can find some positive momentum. Again, another touchdown cuts down to 20. If you can get another touchdown before the quarter, good things can happen. But what more can you say about the St. Peter's Eagles offense? Okay, they've gone to this outside zone. They've committed to it. It's resulted in a few passes. But most importantly, it's resulted in a dominant ground game performance between you see Neer there with his varsity debut. And then Williams has put together, I believe, an historic offensive performance for a guy making his first start at running back. His brother was so impressive last year. I think this guy is doing more than filling those shoes. The Eagles' offense has been dominant from the jump. The defense has shown a few cracks along the way, but got to give some credit to John Velasquez, the new offensive coordinator at St. Peter's, as well as Coach D himself. Coach Cristoforo has guys like Rob Sika and Dean Murkris and Clubby Neer helping run the defense, which has allowed Mark to focus a little more on the offensive side of the ball. And I think it's showing both ways as the Eagles have just put on a dominant performance here at Vikings Park and Joe Ryan Memorial Field. Lined up the kick here. The Vikings will receive. Kick is down the middle. Goes, it's touching over the head, so they're going to have to run it out of the end zone here when eventually they do pick it up. I believe is that going to be a safety? I do not. The football rules are different. No, apparently not. So apparently you can touch it and then go into the end zone. Not a safety in high school football because the referees haven't called that as of yet. I thought if it was touched, they would have to go pick it up and run it out of the end zone. Apparently not, or it wasn't touched. No one's really going to know. I don't know what's happening. Maybe the refs are talking about it.
Touchback. Safety.
It's going to be a safety. So my instincts were right. It's going to be a safety for the Vikings defense. Once it was touched by the returner has an obligation to return it. And unfortunately, with the ball rolling, unfortunately for the Vikings, that is, unfortunate for the Eagles special teams, the ball going into the back of the end zone, no good. And that's going to bring the score, I believe, to 43-14 on the safety and result in possession for the St. Peter's Eagles. The Viking coaching staff at about midfield, curious as to what the play is going to be here. But no, on a safety, I believe it's going to be 2 points Eagles and the Vikings punt the ball back. Now I'm hearing the chatter in the booth, something it should have been a touchback. I am unsure, to be completely honest, of the rule in high school. Okay, I'm actually listening to conversations here with the referees are discussing behind, but nonetheless, Vikings will have it here. Okay, we don't have any update on the scoreboard just yet, and the officials are still talking. You know, while we talk about it, you see the deep Eagles sideline. There's over 50 kids in roster. First time they've been able to have a true blue and white scrimmage this year, meaning so you had a first-team defense going against a first-team offense and a second-team defense going against second-team offense live in practice. And what that does is replicate live drills, live team situations, and get you ready for game day. They weren't able to do that previously, didn't have the numbers or the talent and a little bit of both in order to make that happen. That's what happens when you have a program. That happens when you have a JV that feeds varsity. It's no secret. If you build from the ground up, good things will happen. Like we said, this is the Cristoforo's first group of full recruits and full student body of players that came under his second regime here at Peters. Again, his 10th season overall, spent many years at Farrell as a defensive coordinator and other positions on the Farrell staff. A football lifer, and I'm sure he's got to be pleasantly happy with the dominant performance from his team on all three facets of the game. And having seen how hard the Eagles coaching staff's worked, none of this surprises me on this afternoon, even though the result may surprise many because last year the Vikings took the Eagles down. So it just goes to show hard work. A team that was in the weight room from the day after Thanksgiving, picked it up to full-time in the weight room. I'm going to shout out Clubby Neer and Principal Constantino, amongst other Coach Constantinos, helping out there. I was just looking to vamp up and kill time as we figured out what was going to happen. So the Vikings are going to kick off. They're going to kick off from the 20. The safety does count. The score is 43-14. And the Vikings, I guess it's different in high school. They're going to kick off the tee as opposed to in the NFL where they kind of like drop punt it. So the ball will come from the 20. Eagles have two guys. Oh, they go with an onside type kick. One guy leveled. Don't see any flags, and the ball did go 10 yards. So that looks like a successful onside kick attempt for the Vikings. Well done. Putting a little life in the Vikings there. I had missed the kid on the see who laid the hit, but someone leveled the ball handle, popped the ball loose, and good things will happen there for the Vikings. So, hey, every great comeback begins with something spunky, and the Vikings offense needs something spunky here. 3 yards at a time, 5 yards at a time. Good to develop your offense, prepare for next week. But if you're going to try and win this game, they need to put the ball in the end zone quick and then hope for some things that they got here. Listen, if you get onside kicks, anything can happen, as we showed just now. So we got a few guys limping towards the sideline. They seem to be okay, not being seen by a medical staff. The Vikings offense will get back on the field. I am getting the Vikings sheet in front of me as if I can't remember names. Latito looks like he'll be back at the helmet quarterback. Been a little choppy, a lot of little timeouts, a lot of this and that. Hopefully we can get a little free-flowing game here going forward the rest of the way. Again, we have no idea what Danny Chanod is. If you see Danny Chanod, tell him to report back to the booth, as I don't know, I really know how to do play-by-play. I'm making this up as I go along. Hopefully doing the best I can for the great game of football and all of our viewers listening on the North and South Shores here of Staten Island. And we're all going to stand around a little bit more as the referees come on in. When the ball is finally snapped, it'll be from the 33-yard line.
First and 10 for the Vikings, 1:05 left in the third.
Okay, so after all the delay, Latito, unsure of the play call, wants to get it right. Runs to the sideline. I'm unsure what coach he's speaking to at the moment, but gets some clarity. Now we got refs going to the sideline again. I don't know what's happening. Eagles, a byproduct of a tough preseason schedule versus Long Island Lutheran, Holy Cross, Xavier, and Chaminade. Chaminade being last week. Eagles did a tough job against Chaminade. Chaminade ranked number 3, I believe, in the Catholic League. To have a performance like that against Chaminade in a scrimmage was a heads up for the Eagles. And again, I apologize for not having as much information on the Vikings, but I was unable to contact. Well, Coach Baptiste was very busy. We didn't find a chance to talk, so my inside information, unfortunately, strictly lies basically with the St. Peter's side right now, but not for a lack of trying on the Nobody Cares Sports side of things. No idea what's happening, why this is taking so long. Referees are just bouncing around, sideline to sideline. Don't know what's happening. The sun is beaming in my face. It's knocking me down. I'm sweating like Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter now, and that's not a good sight for anybody watching. Luckily, there's no camera here on the booth. Finally, we get a snap. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Gives to Gregorio up the middle. He's met in the backfield. Breaks the tackle up the middle. Going to look to break it up the right side. Again, a tough run for Gregorio. He's been doing that all afternoon long. Impressive performance by him. Gained a few yards there, but again, 3 yards at a time is not going to do it for the Vikings offense. Perhaps the Vikings are more focused on getting their stuff done and making things happen. Danny's hitting me. What's happening now, Danny?
Di Gregorio's hurt.
Di Gregorio, he's telling me Di Gregorio's hurt. Di Gregorio, no surprise there. He's been getting hit all day long. I hope he's okay. He's bent over a little bit. He's walking off under his own power. Hopefully a little stinger. He'll get himself back into the football game really soon. You know, we hate to see football offense without him. He's been such an integral part and tough runner all afternoon long. So Gregorio no longer in at tailback. Looking to see it's number 30 in for the Vikings at offense. That's Steven Ingenita at tailback. Latito in the semi-shotgun here. On the snap. Latito got some protection, looks over the middle, has a man, hit him in the hands, but on the good tackle there by the Eagles defender, good tackle there by number 13, that's Nicholas Scolaro. Good tackle there, preventing the reception. And that will keep it at, there's going to be 9.5 seconds left. It is 2nd down from the 36. And I'm going to have the rest of this quarter because Danny Chanod is resting in the bullpen. He's throwing a few more pitches, but he doesn't feel he has his curveball just yet. So he's going to throw a few more, and I'm going to carry you Vince Scully-wise the rest of the way, making it up as I go along. Because, again, there is no formal training. I have not gone to any schools for this, but I do love myself some high school sports.
You went to school.
I went to school. I did go to Curtis. Danny's informed me I did go to school. Yes, I did go to Curtis and the College of Staten Island and Little Toro. I have a master's degree. Probably the dumbest person to ever have one. Nonetheless, I do have one, and we are in the shotgun again. Vikings with the snap from the 48-yard line, 9.5 remaining in the third. Drops back to pass. Rolls out left. Has a little time. Throws the ball directly into the hands of the Eagles. That's number 19. That's Eddie Rethorn with the interception. The last thing you need if you're the Vikings offense. And the Eagles defense continues to produce on every possible level. We'll give them ball after the interception back at the 45-yard line. The Eagles defense, and that should bring an end to the third quarter with the score, the visiting St. Peter's Eagles 43 and the Vikings 14. We'll be right back. Nobody cares. Main Street Coffee!
Put your force up! Well, welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Start of the fourth quarter at Danny Chanod, and back in the booth. Great job from Ray Palma handling play-by-play.
That's debatable.
For the duration of that third quarter.
Number 34, Neer with the carry.
So that carry goes to Neer. Danny, while you were gone, Nicholas Neer had his first. Oh, and we have an injury here for the Vikings as this training staff comes running out. Ooh, hate to see that. That's number 41 for the Vikings. Joseph Sala looks like they're going to hustle him off. Okay, Sala, good to see him coming off on his own power.
So Neer got a touchdown?
Neer got a touchdown. They gave him the ball the first carry for some short yardage, and they got into the end zone, and we mentioned Bobby Neal looking down from the heavens, watching down with Billy Fanny. Really cool moment for St. Peter's football, and for my guy, Clubby Neal, linebackers coach from the booth up
Well,
top.
I'm going to tell you, Ray, it's about 90 degrees in this booth, and I'm sweating profusely, and I just got the chills, so I guarantee you Grandpa Neer is watching from above. Here's the second quarterback in the game who rolls out to his left and is going to be aggressively thrown down to the turf.
That's Canzanelli, so that's the nickname, the Rifleman, Danny. So a different quarterback than Aruda, not the type of athlete Aruda is, but natural throwing arm as good as anyone that ever stepped foot in the building at St. Peter's. So, looks like they're going to, he's going to stay in the game at quarterback. So with him in the game, the offense won't change all that much, but the pass becomes much more of an option with the kid being a natural quarterback with the thing to really sling that thing downfield. Let's see Laureano get involved. Has been such a good job with the pass and run protection, and run blocking, and pass protection. We'd love to see him get involved in the passing game himself.
Well, we'll see what it is. Weinberg's the new number one receiver in, but it looks like it's going to be a steady dose of run for our boy Neer.
And you think about the future for the Eagles. You've had an unbelievable performance by Williams at running back. He's a junior, Dan.
Yes, he is.
And then you have Neer here with his first touchdown. He's a sophomore. You got Aruda. He's a junior. So you got these key pieces that at skill positions that are critical in high school football or any level of football.
Almost like a baseball team, right? I'm looking for my center fielder, shortstop, and catcher, right? Like, all right, got that. Now we're good.
Yeah, if you're strung up the middle in just about any sport, good things are going to happen. So the Eagles waiting for the play call. The clock with about 10-10 and counting in what has been a epic performance for the St. Peter's Eagles.
On the road.
Yeah.
I mean, they came in here, they rolled deep, they got their fans the length of the track on the opposite end of the field.
I was going to say that, Dan. When I walked in, I walked in at about 1:15. Kids were hyped up, ready to go. Not kids playing, kids in the crowd. I imagine a lot of them, maybe the JV kids as well. But this is what happens. This is rebuilding, and this is the upside of a rebuild. Coach Cristoforo came back 2.5 seasons ago to rescue the program, and I am admittedly a little biased as he's also a good friend of mine, but happy to see the great work he's put in.
It's a clean snap. Good kick. That ball's going to go down, and I don't know, it might have touched somebody. There's a flag down. It looks like there wasn't enough room given to the receiver to make the play.
Yeah, it looked like kick-catch interference, most likely.
There you go.
Yeah, most likely there.
Hey, Bob says you're doing a good job with the rule calling, man.
But I think Bob's giving me a few thumbs down, but mostly some thumbs up. I'm at about 78%. I'll take it. I'll take it any way I can get it. So
78's solid, man.
Yeah, 78's my average in high school. I'm doing just fine.
Bro, my average in life is like 70.00.
That's better than me, that's for sure.
My Curtis GPA and my college GPA are no bueno, but I got degrees.
I don't know what my GPA was in college. It wasn't pretty.
Look it up, dude. It's hysterical. When you don't remember what your GPA was, it's because you wanted to forget it.
I mean, it wasn't anything above a 2, that's for sure. It might have been the low 2s, but I got out of there.
I got out of there.
I got work on Tuesday, and there'll be kids there Thursday. I think I'm teaching science this year, they told me.
That's exciting.
That'll be pretty interesting.
This is almost a scientific experiment, us in this booth.
It's like the sun just wants to hit me directly in my face, too. It just keeps moving no matter where I go.
My phone's telling me I'm walking steps, even though I'm just standing here sweating out gallons.
Hey, Ray, when you get dressed in the morning, the black shirt, not the move. Not the move.
Same Z's. I hate myself.
So if you're the Vikings here, I think the game is out of hand. I don't think you're going to try and do anything crazy as far as looking to score. I can't do the math. What's the deficit, Danny? 29?
Yeah, I can help you. Just let me talk to my friends at NASA. The odd numbers hurt me. 43-14 We're looking at a 29-point ball game.
I said 29. I had it right. Yes. All right. So Danny is texting NASA. He's having a few spaceships moved. And the people at Local Live they're working with today, by the way, I mean, magic. Just in case you know, they're not here. Like, they're not actually physically here, but they somehow have a way of moving cameras and giving you guys the great camera views you've had all afternoon long. So shout out to Local Live and the great work they do. Like, I don't know how it works. It's like magic mini computer things or robots or flying drones or I don't know what's going on out here.
They do a great job, though. Shout out to our boy Kevin Devaney Jr., does a great job of orchestrating. And I know they have had a tough weekend. There's a lot of games across the Eastern Seaboard, and they got a lot of cameras. So a great job by Local Live. Ray, I'm getting hungry. I think I'm going to have to go down to Ruddy and Dean some point this weekend. Proud sponsor of Nobody Cares Sports Network right there by the ballpark in St. George near the Staten Island Ferry. Check out our buddy. Best steakhouse in Staten Island.
In my opinion, the only steakhouse. Other places sell steak, but that's the only steakhouse. I'm going to let it fly. We have a new quarterback in the game for the Vikings here, Danny. Let's check out who that is.
Oh, looks like number 13.
Number 13, Nicholas Fiorentino, is now in a quarterback for the Vikings. So Coach Randy Luttrell and the offense want to get a look at somebody else here. And if you're Fiorentino, listen, you come in here and put some drives together, you might have a chance to battle for a starting quarterback position. So good chance for him. And again, if you're the Vikings, you're not going to score at 29 points, most likely to come back and win the game. But you want some positive momentum going into the practice week and for whatever next game might be on the schedule. This game actually a non-league game, folks, not a league game. This is a game that they both had an open week. Coach Baptiste and Coach Christopher got together to schedule.
Well, it's a non-conference game. They're on the same league. It is a Catholic game, but, divisional-wise, there's A, AA, AAA, right? So these two teams are not in that same division. But such bitter rivals. No, they are.
I don't want to correct you on there, Danny, but trust me on this one.
How is it a non-league game?
Because it's not scheduled by the league. This game was scheduled independently by Mark and by Coach Baptiste. So the league
doesn't count?
It doesn't count in league standings, but counts in overall records.
What are we doing here?
Because this is St. Peter's and St. Joseph by the Sea. This is a fantastic. That's
all I know. It's a big deal. I hear you.
It's a very big deal. Just saying it's opening weekend. It's open weekend. Some teams play open weekend. Some teams don't. These teams haven't had a ton of practices, so in many ways this is like another practice. But no, this is most certainly a game that matters in the overall standings, your overall record. All stats count, that kind of thing. Just not a league
I'm with
game.
you. All right, I'm with you now.
The Vikings, I believe, 12 in the CHSA rankings prior to the game. Eagles were 16. Pass to the left side, incomplete. I want to shout out Coach Cristoforo, giving me all the inside information as far as that kind of stuff. I had a chance to go sit down and practice with those guys, and just so impressed with how many adults and human beings are in charge of things, and just the specifics of offense, defense, special teams, and breakdowns. It was so well structured, very impressive from an organizational standpoint, and makes this scoreboard no less stunning, though. The Vikings came into St. Peter's last year, and then they beat the Eagles, and they beat them on pretty much every aspect of football. But what a difference a year makes. Progress. Again, 9 seniors last year, 23 this year. 50-plus kids on the roster. 45 to 50-plus kids in the JV. Feature my man Dave Fernandez, my favorite player. Punt goes up the middle. Number 10 is going to look to catch it, return. He's got a little no space, splits 2 defenders. Looking to get another one, but no, it's going to be taken down. Tough return there by Brandon Weinberg. Brandon Weinberg on the return is going to give the Eagles the ball at about the 43-yard line. Danny is now drinking water as opposed to pouring it all over himself, so we're making progress from a Neanderthal standpoint.
Well, I know that they got sports science because we have sponsors, and I'm here thinking about how badly I need like an IV or something just to bring me back to life, but we have Cryo Wellness SI. You don't have to get yourself into an ice chamber anymore. They've got an ice gun. It shoots out this amazing ice cold smoke, steam, I don't know, cures your ailments. You walk out of there with no back pain, your knees feel better. Make sure you check them out. Ray, we're going to go there and get our bodies rejuvenated over there on Holland Boulevard.
And that's the one above a tire shop, Danny, right?
Yeah, I almost bought a set of tires accidentally on my way in.
The location's odd, but once you walk in, you can see it's like walking in the Foot Locker.
Well, that's because they're with Solo Fitness and Wellness. It's a gym, it's a sneaker store, a shoe factory.
You could go there. You could get iced down. You can get a new pair of sneakers. You can buy a pair of shoes. You could do a lot of things there. A little cryotherapy.
Bro, they have an indoor basketball court. It reminded me of like a miniature fun bubble in Newdorp.
Oh, I remember that. ECW Riot years ago. One of the best nights of my life. ECW Wrestling came to that bubble, and it was a crazy experience of my life.
Super lit.
Rifleman in the shotgun, near behind him in
the give is to Near. He takes it B-gap, and he's just running with a full head of steam.
If you're a Curtis Warrior fan from the 90s, you watched his Uncle Joe Near run the ball just like that many years. And on his, probably about his 8th or 9th carry today, Nicholas Near with his longest run of the day for about 10 there. Bright future for the Eagles with Nicky Near, both as a linebacker and as a running back.
It's just so crazy to see your friends' kids out there balling out. It's like, how fast does time go by?
Oh, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But you know what? It's enjoyable. As Near gets hit in the backfield, Eagles seem content here. I know the rifleman probably wants to let one go, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of these runs will turn into a play action. Let the kid show his arm strength.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you though, Ray, that kid Near, he's a strong runner because every Viking defender is trying their best to rip the ball out. They're all playing fumble football here, and 3 guys are gang tackling him, and he's eating those hits. You talk about him being a sophomore, eating those hits like that and holding on to the football, not holding it like a loaf of bread.
That's Clubby Jr., man. We're built that way over in West Brighton.
Here's a throw outside on a little out route.
And you see it even there in the little out route there, and this kid has the arm strength. 16 can sling that thing as good as anybody wearing a football uniform on Staten Island. And, with the Ruta playing so well, I don't think there's any quarterback controversy, certainly, with St. Peter's. But if they need to go to someone that can sling at 16 here, and I don't want to butcher the last name. What do we got here? 16 for the Eagles. Vincent Candaneri, special arm strength, and he just showed a little bit of it there. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 42.
He's got 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left, and motion. It'll be offsides against the defense, so another 5 yards for the Eagles as they continue to soar into Viking territory late in the game.
After a rough stretch of penalties for the Eagles, they've avoided penalties for a stretch here. Now the Vikings, unfortunately, unable to hold their water on the left side of the defensive line there. We'll turn 3rd and 7 to we'll call it 3rd and a long 2. Canzaneri in the shotgun, flanked by Near on the right. 2 receivers left, 1 receiver top of the screen. I'm going to let him throw it. As you can see there, down the middle, incomplete. Not sure if that was intended for number 2, Aiden Ledlam, or number 14, Vincenzo Capola. But either way, incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd and down from the 45. Got to imagine here this is, one chance to get the first down. If not, with a 14-point lead, you'd imagine the Eagles would punt in any 4th down scenario.
I'm here with you, Ray. I was just having a
never
vision.
Really know. At this
no,
point.
No, I'm here. I was having a vision, almost like a mirage.
Like Shroud of Torah type thing, like religious?
Maybe.
Okay, I like it. They give it to Near up the middle, up the right side, bouncing tackles, taking people with him.
Beast mode.
He has. Yeah, you know what's a good comparison? He has that Marshawn Lynch style.
He runs for contact.
That's a Near thing.
Yeah.
Nears don't avoid anything. They take it head on, and that's in the blood. He can't stop that. And like we've said before, he's got an angel looking down from heaven. His Uncle Billy Fanny and his grandpa's watching down. So great debut. But I guess we're not going to see him again, Danny. So in case we don't mention it, how about Jeremiah Williams?
Bro, what? What did he have, like 20 touches for 275 yards?
I mean, if you count
ridiculous.
the punt return yards, I'd say all-purpose he might be over 300 yards.
He's like a little Reggie Bush out there. He just did everything today for the St. Peter's Eagles.
So he announced his presence with authority. The new Eagles defensive front has announced, the Eagles going from an odd front to an even front. Seems to be an ingenious choice by the Eagles defensive coaching staff. And the new Eagles offense struggled to score points last year. They put 43 on the board here, and if they weren't slowing the game down here, we'd probably have 50 by now.
You're right about that. And you think about all of the penalties. It wasn't a fluid game. There was a lot of mistakes on both sides because it's opening weekend.
So you see Williams was tearing it up all day, and then there's no drop-off with Neer. Different type of runner, probably not as elusive. Neer's going to look to run you over, whereas Williams will just run away from you.
I'll tell you this, though, Ray. It's a credit to the unsung heroes of every win in a football game, and that's the offensive line. When the running back continues to grind, be it your first, second, or third running back, it's a credit to that O-line. The big hog mollies up front, moving the line around, creating space, allowing the running back to find holes. So great job from the offensive line today at the St. Peter's Eagles.
Absolutely couldn't have said any better. Canzoneri is going to be in the shotgun whenever they snap it, looking to kill as much clock as possible. Play clock not in front of us, so that's kept on the field.
It's a 2nd and 1.
And it looks like there was delay game on the Eagles. And Danny, we talked about the offensive line early on today. 4 or 5 returning. It's continuity. If you know what you have, it's kind of like me as an educator when I'm teaching. I know teaching the same subject the following year, life is easier. This year I don't know, so life's not going to be easy come Tuesday. But that's okay. Offensive line returns 4 or 5 starters. Not sure if they might have made a few subs here, work some other kids in, and no drop off because Neer is running the ball up the field all drive long.
And, but the thing was, Williams was running outside the tackles. Neer is running inside the tackles. So 2 different running styles, and the O-line is getting it done for both of them.
We'll let the snap go and make my comment then.
So a 2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. Snap is off. The give is to the back Neer, and he is gobbled up instantly. And that'll be a loss on the play.
So my friend Damien just informed me, Danny, the back judge keeps the play clock, and he has his hand up, and he starts counting from 10. So that's how you can kind of figure out what the play clock is.
That's
Learning
awesome.
the rules here. This C booth is great. This
That's
is
awesome.
It's like a human encyclopedia
Thank
up
you,
here.
Damien.
It's like a learning class.
Nobody
up here.
tells us
This is great.
anything.
And
Sometimes
so I'll
people
tell you,
like us.
in a small world, this is how Staten Island is. Damien's from C, and a representative of C, the public justice announcer. He told me about Bobby Neer and about Nicky Hughes Grant. So he knew. He worked with Bobby Neer. Just shows us how reciprocal Staten Island is and how we're always family first and foremost.
Well, the give is to the back. That's Neer again. He's going to fight for yards, but everybody with a blue jersey, and I mean literally 6 guys tackled him for a gain of 1 on the play.
So the Eagles' offense going forward, Dan, you got Williams, who can't be tackled and avoids tackles. And then you have that's the Thunder, or the Lightning, I should say, and then the Thunder of Neer, who's going to seek out tacklers and just try and run them over.
Yeah.
So you got a little balance of both. And I don't know much about the rest of the Catholic League, but
well, you got a
Peter's
4th
been very
down
impressive.
here. 4th down here for the Eagles, Ray. And I
First
imagine
down ends the game.
Oh, maybe try and eat up as much clock as possible.
Yeah, he's going to kill the clock. Now the back judge is counting. Now there's I don't know why that would have happened, but nonetheless, timeout Peters.
Mark's killing me.
Mark just has nowhere to be.
I have people so upset with me.
His whole family's down in Jersey. We're basically in Jersey now. It's probably only a 20-minute ride, wherever they may be. So, but Mark's in no rush. Doesn't want to have a turnover here. First down will end the game. A lack of first down will give the Vikings offense one more crack at to try and cut into the deficit.
I'm imagining that he called the timeout to draw up a play to get the first down.
Is there a sponsor we haven't read and he knows that? Is there anything else we need to do paperwork-wise, Dan? Are we good? I know some Loon Schwans out there. And some Jimmy Max
we can.
And, I just know that we have the world's greatest sponsors here at Nobody Cares Sports.
Well,
it's not free, guys.
Let's talk about
it's not free.
We got Nationwide Bus Charter. That's like the official
Nationwide
bus. Carts all these kids around from school to school. And, I mean, they're number one when it comes to
And this ain't no
moving.
cheese bus either. These buses have bathrooms and air conditioning and seat belts. It's really fancy.
Yeah, sick buses.
None of the buses I had traveling as
Shout out to our friends at Qualitech Computers.
those
Adam
guys.
does a great job. IT, I mean, they'll get everything, clean up your computer. Anytime you're like, I don't know what's going on, it keeps shutting off. Blue screen of death. He's the man to talk to. Flagship Brewery, we talked about them earlier.
Shout out Jay Sykes and Jay McGinley and the McGinley brothers, Matty, all those. Jay McGinley works Saturdays now, in case you're wondering, down at Flagship. You can't be looking for
We
him.
got so many J's, like J's on the Bay, fine dining. We're going there, bro. The food's unbelievable.
Are they sponsoring us?
They are an official sponsor.
Very nice.
Like, I'm
Love it.
talking full year sponsor.
That's beautiful. Oh, the punt is tipped. And the Vikings are going to pounce on it up the sidelines here. Jay's on the Bay was actually across the. Am I saying it wrong? They were across from 61 for a year while they renovated. Is that the right place? Don't know.
No.
Okay, making that part up. There was a restaurant across from us. Anywho, Vikings will get one last possession here, Danny, with 1:37 remaining. If you're the Vikings offense, just want to work on something, get some things going with your second team guys. For both teams, you don't want anybody getting hurt in this last minute 37. Just want to have a productive minute 37 of high school football. Danny's going through our sponsors now. We have so many great ones.
Jimmy Max?
Jimmy Max. I mean, the McBratneys. I mean, just like the greatest place ever. Go if you haven't done Jimmy Max and you go today.
Well, listen,
just go.
They gave us Pizza of the Month tickets and Pasta of the Month tickets for prizes at the Richmond County Fair. So if you want to win that, you got to come to the county fair this weekend.
Every golf outing I have ever attended has had Pizza of the Month and Pasta of the Month because Jimmy Max is the most generous and nicest people. Jimmy over there donates at all times, and such a great place. Not just pizza, Jimmy Max either. A full menu, not even just Italian. Great place for parties too. My nephew's birthday party was there a few years ago, and I won't even go over prices, but the best price you could possibly get, the best service, phenomenal. An institution over there, and I would think would be considered westerly of Staten Island.
Well, I'm very thankful to all the supporters that know that we're just out here taking as many games and as many events as possible because we're trying to build this community up, and I think we're doing a pretty good job. As the quarterback airs it out downfield for Fabi, who has the ball intercepted. Oh, what a grab. Stolen off the hip. Aiello still on his feet. Still takes a licking and keeps on ticking across midfield. Finally tackled at the 40 and a flag on the play.
Danny either spit on me or turned hard to the left, and I just got showered from body sweat. But I just got slapped. What's the basketball with the
Along came
Polly? I just got along came Polly here in the booth, and Danny has a shirt on. Go figure. And there are. If you saw that movie, you are laughing right now. Nonetheless, Danny just returned there. You don't want anybody getting hurt. You kind of just want him to go down, but the kid's excited, wants to try and run one back, and I can't blame him. Who was that? That was Aiello. Tough run by Aiello. Referee is picking up his flag and waving it around. I don't know what that was for, but nonetheless, while we wrap this show.
Yeah, well, he took the flag away. When he waves it around, he's not like waving at you.
I thought it was personal. I tend to take things personal with officials sometimes. Well, Danny, I think we're gonna wrap this up with 2 kneel downs for the Eagles, and you can't ask for anything better. You wake up morning, travel from the North Shore to the South Shore, and after 4 scrimmages, after starting their preseason workouts in the day after Thanksgiving, ramping up to 5 days a week in April, rebuilding the coaching staff. Mark made some additions, some subtractions, and some promotions, and some demotions, things like that. Came out here to the South Shore and really took care of business on opening night.
That's right, they did, and it's a beautiful Labor Day weekend. Win, lose, or draw for this Vikings team. It, like you said, is a learning experience. It won't count against them totally in the standings. But I'll tell you, in terms of bragging rights, North and South, believe me, St. Peter's is going to remember that they won this year, and they're going to take this victory with them. Take the dub, boys, back to New Brighton.
Coach Baptiste last year went into New Brighton and got his first win as a head coach against St. Peter's. Now today, Mark Christopher returns the favor, gets the big win on the road Mark Christopher comes in on the road with the big win for the Eagles. But Coach Baptiste and his staff, and I know that this staff, like my friend Damien here, is top notch. And I know the trouble getting a selfie time here for Danny and I.
How bad I'm sweating.
Danny hopefully doesn't drip all over me this time.
Great.
Hopefully we get so there's the teams line up here, Danny. It's been a great trip to the South Shore. 2 consecutive great days of high school football.
You said it, mister.
Both games a little lopsided. Both games really well played.
Really, it just feels so good to be back. In the words of one of my favorite rappers, Mace, I'm just so thrilled that high school football is back. It's officially fall. It's my favorite season, man. You got World Series, you got football time, fantasy football. My birthday's in October. And how about now, Ray, we're going into our busy season here with Nobody Cares Sports, where we're hoping to do a high school football game of the week, followed by high school basketball games of the week. We're going to be busy from now until forever, folks. We just want you to say thank you so much keep supporting local sports. You already know nobody cares.
Well, my last comments will be to you, Dan. We say we, and you're very generous with the we's, and I do contribute, and I'm happy to be a part of this, along with a litany of other people that help out. But the engine and the brains and the person running the board and making all the agreements and doing, people ask me questions I have no answers because I'm only talent. That's the wrong word to use, but I'm only an on-air commentator. Danny, you're the one bringing us to the people of Staten Island. Nicky Neer for the rest of his life, and all the other St. Peter's guys, Jeremiah Williams and Aruda, can watch this game the rest of their lives because of you and the efforts you put forward. So thank you to you, Danny Chanod, and to nobody else.
And the people from Local Live, and you, Ray Palma.
Those guys count too.
And everybody out there that tunes in and listens to us.
Rest in peace, Bobo. Your grandson's doing a great job. Main Street Coffee!
We'll see you at the county fair. Have a great Labor Day weekend, everybody. Giddy up!